I'm running up the screen. I gotta catch
Oh, that's funny.
it.
So
All
stupid.
right.
There we go.
Here we go. All right. This is the YouTube link. YouTube link
Okay.
is going in. All right. And then I'm also going to put it underneath the description in case it's needed there. All right. Got that part done. Okay. Now I need to take one of these and go to Patreon.
Did that do what I wanted it to do? I don't know.
Okay. All right. I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at you. Captions.
Okay, we're just gonna grab this because I don't know what that's doing.
All right. So where am I? Hello to anyone who might be watching this from the very beginning. We are in super hyper turbo focus mode.
This is what focus looks like. Constantly telling yourself to stay on task and go through
Oh
the
my God.
things.
Get it done. Okay. Let's take this out. Oh no. Sorry.
Oh no.
Wait. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm gonna have to have an apple.
Sounds like a very good, healthy choice. Oops.
My
No.
stomach is over here like,
Like,
girl, you
what are
finna
you?
really try to do this without eating, sis?
Like, you thought
Absolutely not.
that's what you thought was happening?
Absolutely not. Cut it out. Okay. Wait, where did I put it? Oh, I know where it is. It's here. Okay. All right. That's there.
It's not gonna give
Patreon.
me that caption, huh? It's not gonna do it.
So let me copy all this. Oh, that's what I needed it for. I remember. That's funny.
Ah,
I appreciate you, girl. I don't know if
good.
this is Christiana or if I have a new logistics person
I'm about to say
that
they've been kicking
is,
in pretty good.
yeah, I don't know, but I'm with it. You know, they have the freedom to hire whoever they need to hire to get the job done, child.
Yes, Lord.
I'm just I'm just grateful to be on the receiving end. Amen.
Amen.
Shoot.
Amen.
Cause baby, the way this perimenopause be slinging me over up and through, not being
Child.
able to remember stuff.
Wild. Okay.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. That is wild. Hey.
I wonder how long there's doubt. Like, I wonder if, because
You're
like
like,
one of my favorite podcasts is Jen and Juice podcast,
mhm.
and they're sisters.
Yeah.
And a lot of times people will be like, oh, I didn't know that they were sisters.
Ah,
And then they'll say something like, oh, because Melissa just got a new sew-in, and Mel has sew-ins all the time. So
uh-huh.
they're like, oh, now that Liz has hair like Mel, oh, I could see it, you know. So I just
Ah.
wonder how long people be like, are they
Like,
really
are
related?
they?
Are they play cousins? You know?
Girl, because
I be
yes,
curious about that.
it has to be. I feel like through time, yeah, it comes across. I would think, but
I would think too.
I would
I
think,
feel
but
like if we're talking in the same vicinity of each other, that
it's
it is not.
like it feels like it makes sense. Like they're either really, 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 really good friends, or they are definitely related. Because how did we all get here?
Oh my God. Okay, forward. Here we go. So let's get these done
We got
down.
9 minutes.
Okay, thank you. Um,
Mm-mm-mm. Girly pop. Okay. I think I did the thing. You are.
bruh, I am so man. When I tell you I be deleting people, bro.
the
I be
subscriptions.
deleting
The
people.
subscription's still
Ooh,
canceling, huh?
baby. Oh, I'm a cancel a subscription ass bitch, honey. I be canceling subscriptions like a mug, yo.
Be like, your subscription did not renew.
Oh, who is this?
There
What?
was
What made you message me?
there was
I'll
no
be
no card on
quick to
file.
ask that. What made you message me?
Yes, it did. Uh,
What you need? What is what? What do you need?
there's something you
Okay.
needed. We definitely changed
Correct. I'm like, I can help you with something, or what's happening? Why are
it.
you talking
Oh
to
my
me? Get
god.
out of here.
Not to get out of here. I always forget that I have friggin' what's the thing? Facebook limited on the photos. And so every time I go
Mhm.
to do this, it's like, oh yeah, you're gonna have to add that picture. It's not going to be
Oh,
there. I'm like, just jokes.
got you. I really have to write a goodbye letter to Facebook. I
Girl,
just,
all of them.
I,
It's
I
wild.
know, I know, I
Not
know.
Central Standard Time, Eastern Time. There you go.
At
You
this
got it.
time,
You got it.
we got a description. We got our picture updated. What time? 54. Okay. I need to close the door. Oh, I need to do a sound check, Lord Jesus. Can we be
Up.
heard? Amen.
Can
Whoa.
you hear us?
Is
Holla if
anybody
you
in
hear
here
me.
yet? Holla if you hear me.
All right.
Yeah.
All the things. All the
Where's
things.
the link? Oh.
Um, I don't get no music? How that work? There we go. I'm like, where my music at?
All right. We are heard. Amen. Amen.
Hallelujah.
All right. So I want to put this over here so I can see the comment. Oh, excuse me, Lord Jesus. Oh, I need to make us public.
Oh, that will help. All right, post. Okay.
visibility, public, fade.
Just in time. Got the browser information. You want to put your link in your name?
Okay, give me one moment.
No worries. It was just a reminder if that
Girl,
was something you wanted to do.
yes, it is.
Okay.
I be feeling like, wait, I want to see your face. Hold on. Oh, wait, I can
Oh,
still
that's
hear
what we were
myself.
supposed to do. That's what we were supposed to do during the run. Put our links so we could copy and paste in
Ah,
the show.
ah,
I
ah,
was
ah.
like, there was something.
See, this is why. Can you do me a favor? Can I make you I don't know why you're not, but I'm gonna make you co-host. So you change it for me?
Oh yeah,
Just Kimberland J.
Kimberland Jackson. Okay.
Yeah, because I'm trying to make sure. I'm like, I gotta do 7 things. I still
No,
gotta grab
you
an
are good.
apple. I gotta get some water.
She said,
Oh,
I need an apple.
why is this not working? All right. Oh, and I gotta turn
Oh,
my camera off because I don't have pants on. Oh.
okay. Oh, you know, I got
Ugh!
it. No, I can't rename you.
It's not letting you?
It doesn't give me the option. Like
That's weird.
I can click on you and see like your
But it
the
won't rename.
options. Yeah, like I can view
Okay,
it,
hold on.
mute you, all the good stuff.
That's
Um,
interesting.
no. I was like, now wait a
I
minute.
need to look that up.
I'm also might not be signed into Zoom, so that might be what it's fussing about.
That might be okay. And water. Oh. I gotta like my last incense stick.
Hey, R.I.P. Mm.
All right. Incense lit. Getting back in here.
Welcome back. Welcome
Apple
back.
acquired.
Yes. Come
Okay,
through healthy
close
snacks.
that, close that. And we're back, folks. Why are you saying you're not connected to the internet? That's what I'm trying to
Uh-oh.
understand.
Now see.
What did you type right now? What did you
Now
type?
that's that silliness.
You know we about to go into, it's not supposed to be shadow period yet, but it's of Mercury retrograde in Pisces. So towards the end of February. And I said, I don't
Here
want
we
to do
go.
this now.
And Pisces.
I hate it so freaking much. It is
So
like,
for Pisces, then is
ugh.
it hyper emotional or less emotion?
Now that I don't know. Now you're taking me down. I don't know
Uh-huh.
nothing. I really don't know the answers to any of that. But all I know is the date. I'm
Gotcha.
trying to really, yeah, I'm really am trying to
I'm
study,
still here. Uh-huh.
um, to know more to understand
Mm-hmm.
because it's a lot
Ooh,
that's going on right now.
girl. Well, I just noticed I was blaming it all on the full moon because people were doing very interesting things. And I was like, really? That's how you wanted to handle that? It seems odd to me. That's an odd choice.
And it could be full moon type activity.
I won't just sign it. I am signed in.
Girl, I've been sitting here trying to press this doggone login button for 17 doggone minutes. And it is not going. I don't know what's happening here. I
I
really
I
don't.
like it let
I
me
really don't.
this is bizarre. Excuse me. Okay. Well, I did try. I don't know why. Because
I'm
I'm
trying to
logged
see if
in
I can
now,
see us log
but
into what now? Oh, for me to change my
Zoom.
name. I got it. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Don't even worry.
Okay.
I don't know.
She
I don't
said
want
she
to play
says
these games. I really don't. I really don't. And I feel like the machines are taking over and it's all sorts of things that are happening. So I'm just trying to just not, because if I do,
it'll keep you there. It'll keep you there.
mm-hmm,
'Cause it's a long,
mm-hmm,
long road.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm, yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, so do you people, I know you've seen these before when it be like those black conversations and
Mhm.
like people be like, cause look, you have to look at me. They be like,
Oh. Uh-uh.
and we just did that because you like, mm-hmm, and yeah, cause
Because that's you'll never get out. And
so
people be like, "What just happened?"
trying to just, yeah. Mm-hmm.
11:01.
So here we are. Oh my God. Wait, so before I know we got time today, but you said you wanted to tell me something. You were like, "Oh, you asked me about the doggy in the window."
Oh, right. How much is that dog in the window? Ruff, ruff.
Burp,
The
burp,
one with
the
the
one with the
waggly tail.
waggly tail. How
Exactly.
much is that dog? Yeah, so why you asking about that?
So I realized that's one of my stems. Like every once in a while, that
Oh,
is
you
the
know what?
song. It'll
Specifically.
specifically that one. And I'll just be like, and then I said it out loud and I was like, oh, that's one of my stems. The how much is the doggy in the window? And Miyako was like, what is that? And I was like, it's a nursery rhyme. So then I was like, well, is it from a show? And I'm like, I don't know the origin. I thought it was a
We gotta look it up.
Mary
Let's
had a
find
little
out.
lamb type thing that everybody knew and
And it probably
experienced.
got some kind of racist ass
I'm sure
fucking
it does.
backstory. How
Don't
much
they
is the
all?
doggy in the window origin
Don't do
racism?
it. Don't do
I'm
it.
putting it in here.
It probably popped up as an autofill. That's what my heart hurt.
Oh
You're
my
dumb.
God. Oh my God.
No. No.
You ready? You
No.
ready? And this, yes, I know. I know. It says, the phrase "they're eating the dogs" and similar narratives regarding immigrants and pets are rooted in a long history of racist and xenophobic tropes used to paint marginalized groups, particularly Asian and Black immigrants, as savage, barbaric, or inhuman. Historical roots, the stereotype that immigrants eat pets, stem from the late 19th and early 20th century Western colonial attitudes, which frame non Western cultures as uncivilized. And you know that man, they're eating the dogs, they're
They are
eating the
eating the
cats.
dogs. We're like,
Now,
what?
where the hell did where is it from? So it must just be like a Yankee Doodle type
Kind
situation
of
or some
thing.
shit.
Like it's just a jingle that we all know. Like,
Ugh.
girl, your slip is showing, America. Your slip
Since
is
freaking
showing.
then. So it was a 1952 novelty song written by Bob Merrill and famously recorded by Patti Page.
Hmm.
And then it inspired the rise of pet shops displaying puppies.
Interesting. But no, like, so maybe that one was maybe
Maybe that I don't know. But it
because
was
if
an
you
actual song.
okay, got
There's a
interesting.
video and everything.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Huh.
But it's a white lady holding a dog, a puppy, singing to it.
Interesting. Well, there we go. Well, now we have the answer.
I
Because I
don't
was
know.
like, I thought it was a nursery rhyme. I thought it was like Mary had a little lamb. That was just a but that is definitely one of mine. The one with the waggly tail. Yeah,
Yeah.
that'll jump out.
I wonder, oh, but it was the actual song. Because I was about to say like the song that the ballerina does. No,
Oh,
not that one. What is it? Raindrops keep falling on my
raindrops.
head. Because
Mm-hmm.
it's on, you remember Nanny used to have
A music
something that
box
used
is
to,
the snow globes or something. Yes,
I used
yes.
to really like that little song.
A
So
little,
speaking of Nanny,
yeah.
so girl, Letitia,
Now,
you been watching her video
she popped up when I was posting the links and stuff, but we were talking, so I didn't press play.
for
But I just
today.
saw, yeah, for
I
today.
haven't seen what she said
Okay.
today, but
Oh
in the
Lord,
past
what she
few days,
said.
I've been like, girl,
I mean, but all the
girl,
time,
do you just want to write my name? Relax,
every
like
single
relax.
time.
So
But then how
anyway,
do
one
we
of the
all feel
days,
like that? It's very interesting. Okay,
but
go ahead.
it's different parts. It's
Different
different parts of it
pieces, but
because
it
some of it I'd be
resonates.
like, you're not
That
talking
ain't
to me
for
about
me.
that.
I'm not
But
that
that
country.
go, that was for me. That right there.
That one was had my name
So
all on it.
Um, she the other day was talking about, she was like, people are trying to figure out what you're doing. And she was like, um, there are people that think that you're a witch. And I was like, that don't apply to me. And then I started
I'm
thinking a
like, you
little
don't think
harder.
so?
And then I was like, really? That's what people. And I had this moment of like, that is really interesting. But then also, so that pastor had told me I was gonna be in the wilderness, you
Yes,
know.
yes.
And
Um,
so then that, because then I'm like, well, yeah, then I guess so, right? And
like they
also
must.
because we can make so many excuses for the rituals that are present in Christianity and just like act like those
Nobody
are not
thinks like
rituals.
those are rituals. Like, what do you think you're doing?
And
You're
then
literally
so
eating the body. Okay, anyway, go ahead.
the history of accusing people of being witches and the Salem witch trials and the Spanish Inquisition and like all of that. And all of that goes back to our cultural and indigenous practices, right? So
Correct.
then I was like, oh, I do be talking about that stuff. So then maybe in that
They
context, people do
they
be thinking
probably
that.
do.
So this
And you're
morning,
planty and all the things. Go ahead.
oh, plants is a big
Well,
thing.
because you know, like you're searching and actively using the plants for their medicinal
Actual
properties, like
purposes.
that is what
Mm-hmm.
that is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just as a core practice of this is what the earth
Mm-hmm.
is supposed to do and provide for you in abundance. Like, so yes, but they've also repackaged that term. I had a conversation with Brittany about this, and she was like, you know, she hesitates to call herself a witch because people have turned it into like the, oh, I'm just like a granola mom kind of thing, and not the actual version of it that is accurate. So she's like, I try to not say it now because it doesn't represent what I'm doing, but that is what it is.
And I've never identified with it because what my conditioning of understanding of what a witch was dark and evil
Right,
and all of that, as
right.
opposed to someone who is a healer and someone who has intuition. And like now that I resonate with deeply, right? But then
Very
I was
heavily.
like, but then so I'm like, wow, that's so crazy, right? Okay, but then this morning. So, hey y'all, we see y'all watching, but also electronics and things ain't really doing what they supposed to be doing. So I can't see the comments, but I gotta
Oh,
go over to this other screen and see it.
yes,
But
indeed. Good night.
okay, so this morning I was like getting ready, right? And I'm like,
Right.
what am I gonna put on? And then I'm like, okay, it's February, Black History Month. Let's get it,
You
let me put
know,
on I'm black mixed with black shirt, you feel
blackity,
me?
blackity, black, black.
Because
Yes.
it's time to represent and all of that. And then I was like, oh, and let me get my waist beads and let me get my bracelet. Let me get my
Let me do my
incense.
things. Let me get my ancestors together. Come on in the room.
So what happened was, so remember I told you I had opened the door, right? And I usually
Yes.
don't open the door until I am actually awake,
Okay.
because I live in the city now and outside be
Right.
loud and it be a
Gotcha.
lie, you know? So I like to have a little insulation for a moment so that I
Right.
could kind of get my
You can
shit together.
choose. Yeah.
So, but this morning I had washed clothes, right? So I had washed clothes. So I was like, well, let me go ahead and open it so I could put the clothesline out or whatever so that the clothes could get dry.
Right.
And I did that and I go back upstairs and I think I'm about to get in the shower. And you know, like the shower is the place where just God just be telling me all the things. But I don't
Yes.
remember if it was when I got in the shower or when I was about to get out the shower. But oh, I remember. I said, why was I talking about this? So I wear my necklace all the time, right? So this is my Delta necklace. This is the only
Okay.
piece of
The only
paraphernalia
piece
that
you
I own.
have.
Okay.
Right.
The only, right? So anyway, I had taken it off to go get in the shower. So now I'm out of the shower and I remember when I took it off, I closed the clasp.
Okay.
Okay. Now yesterday, I don't remember if I did that, but I remember when I got out the shower, it was open.
Hmm.
So I was like, why wouldn't I close it?
Right.
Because I have almost lost it a few times. It's
Uh,
11:11. Um, hold on. I also have my sound bowl. Because
and hey,
I also have
do
my
the
sound
things. Do the
bowl.
things. Do the things. Hey.
It's me being like really surprised when I'm doing all these things, right? But anyway, so I get out the shower yesterday and it was undone. And
Uh-huh.
I was like, I can't remember. I've almost lost it a few times. I need to do better at that. So then I today was like, let me make sure that I close it.
Right.
Right? Put it down, go get in the shower, come back out the shower, it's open. And I said, now I know. Now I know today that I closed it because I was in. So I said, what is this? What is this? Some Cameroonian tradition? Which ancestor is this?
It's
Is this a
over here.
game? What
Right.
we
Are you
doing,
helping
right?
me? What does this mean?
So then that's what I heard. You said you needed some help. And I was like, well, girl, come on in here, girl. All of y'all, who else? Because the world is on fire. Okay. And we gotta have some serious conversations. And I really feel like we are like launching into this like real revolutionary battle
Oh,
and
for
we
sure.
need them all. So I was like, come on in. So then I
Come
said, am
on.
I supposed to open the door more often in the mornings? Because y'all been waiting outside. Is that what's been
Might be.
happening? It
Might
is
be.
Black History Month, so
It
honey, I need
is.
Harriet, I need
All of them.
Sojourner, Rosa, baby, get on in here and let's have a meeting and talk about what the hell we
Talk
finna
about this
do
direction.
because what the hell is going on? So the
Girl.
video is unlisted on YouTube. Okay. So
We're gonna
I
be
wanted
getting
to
close.
tell you that.
Yes.
I wanted to tell you that because that was crazy. So I'm
Yeah.
curious what your thoughts are.
I mean, it makes sense 100%. I mean, there are times where I'm like, for you saying first, there's a few things, a couple. The witch attachment, one way or another, definitely could see that. And, especially when it's an easy jump for people to make when they determine or deem you non-religious. And it's like, and once you start saying spiritual, then they immediately are like, oh, completely like you have all the altars to all the deities and all the things. And it's like, I mean, there's a
But
spectrum,
not
but
even.
not
There
right.
is a
Like,
spectrum.
it's like in where you find yourself on that path. But, I think it's just the connotation of the word is hard because like you said, when you were introduced to like the thought of it, it was dark and black magic and we're from New Orleans, so it's like even that is different because we never associated them as necessarily the same thing. Like whenever I heard voodoo, I never thought witch. Like that was in its own, for me, that was its own separate
So witch
lane
for
because of,
me was like Wiccan,
okay, yes,
like
yes.
worshiping the devil and all of that.
Oh, now see, I don't
That's what
automatically apply Wiccan to Satan worship, but I do,
this is the
but you
framing I
didn't.
received. I ain't been down
Right,
there to understand what the Wiccans believe, so I don't
right.
know. But the way that it was framed for me is, and but also there's a spectrum because it's like then voodoo. I didn't play with that voodoo. Now I'm not going in there to that Marie Laveau gift shop
I
and
loved
all of
it.
that. Now
The wax museum
and don't
was
go
my
up in there and think you
favorite.
finna come up in my house either because the spirits be
They
jumping
came with
and
you.
don't uh-uh.
They
Okay.
came with you.
So, but, and this is also because I was telling you, I think I told you this before, that Creole never connected to Haiti for me.
Ah,
So I'm not ever thinking about it as there might be something more to here. It was just like, they be conjuring up them spirits and
you
cutting up
know,
chickens
they
and
cutting up the
drinking
chickens.
blood. And, I don't want no
They're
parts of
killing the
that.
goats. They're killing the goats.
And,
I
and
think I
first of
was.
all, I ain't never ate no goat. Now they done
Yes,
tricked
you
me into
did.
eat when. I gotta go throw up right now for whenever this might happen. When?
You're like, because you were there when we went to the country by Medea, right?
Which time?
It was like one big trip where I think like we all were in, because I feel like I've only been to that house once, but I feel like if I was there, you were definitely there because it was like
By
all the
Medea?
cousins,
I don't remember Medea
Medea
having
in
a
the
country
country.
house.
It was like a, oh, I can't even call where it is now. Dang it. If my mom pops in, she'll tell us. But I thought you were there because they definitely, well, if you didn't get tricked, I definitely got tricked. Because your girl loves roast. And so they told me it was roast. And so I ate a piece, but it was actually goat. Mhm. So
Mm-mm.
you may
No.
have blocked it, but
It's possible. It's very possible.
you know, the memories that stay and go, you don't have no control over that. But, I definitely was there. It definitely happened to me. So I don't know. Maybe you weren't there on that trip, but I
Oh
kind of
my
feel like
God.
we were there together.
I don't know. I don't remember Medea having, I don't remember going to Medea's country house. I remember
Gotcha.
going to the house that Nanny lived in Sandy Hook
Oh yeah,
with
it
a big
wasn't
old
there.
yard,
It
but I
definitely wasn't
don't
there.
I don't remember no other country house. So that's why I'm
Gotcha.
struck. But also I very well could have been there. It's very
Right.
possible. Like
Yeah.
somebody could show me a picture and I'd be like, huh,
Oh, okay. I
well,
remember that
there you go.
skirt. You're like,
Right.
I remember.
That
I
was
remember
my
that
favorite
outfit.
little vest I used to be wearing.
Looks familiar. I don't remember it though, but thank you for sharing. Girl.
Oh my God. Okay. We are
We're live.
definitely on one today. We are live. And I can't, it feels so, I feel so alone because I can't see my other screen, which means I can't see the comments. So let me try to get it up at least
I
on my
see
phone. And
Amber.
then
Hi,
we're
Amber. Hi,
gonna
Bianca.
officially start.
Goodness. We are in here. This is how it goes. Welcome to the fun show.
Oh my God.
Hi, Miss
Oh
Sherry.
Lord. Oh, there y'all go. Okay,
Yeah,
wait.
nah.
I still gotta be able to see it. No, why I can't see what I'm trying to see, y'all? This one I be feeling like an auntie, and you know that my doggone eyes don't be working right. So
Well, that
then
was the
I be
last
all
thing
jacked
Bianca
up.
asked me. She was like, threw my glasses at me. She was like, in case you need to see. And I was like, no,
And
I
see,
just
I
want
don't know how you could do that. That's why I be telling you, you ain't really blind. And you be
she
out
is.
here trying to
She
outblind
is.
me. You be out here trying to
Girl.
outblind me when you can live your life without
Yeah.
glasses.
Well, if I don't have to read anything, yeah. But you put a
Girl,
screen
if
up,
I
I'm gonna
gotta
need these
see to get
glasses.
from point A to point B, girl. Also, side note, for real, then we're gonna start. I have never really thought about myself as disabled
Mm. The laundry
until,
list is it be there if you think about it.
but not even like mental health stuff.
No,
I
I'm saying
can't
all the things.
see.
Right,
Why do I not understand that I am
girl.
using a literal tool and aid that I am dependent on for living?
Which side note to the side note, y'all know. Come on. So the the meta glasses, right? That people are
Uh-huh.
trying
Do
to
they have prescriptions in them?
So people have been, they get the meta glasses and they go, oh, I'm gonna put my prescription lenses in it because I need to see. I could just wear them all at the same time. Well, there are also places that are banning meta glasses. Like Disney is trying to ban them. And I'm like,
What?
but how do people gonna see? Like if once I get there and I didn't know about your meta ban or whatever, like
They
I
don't
need
care.
these. Like
Why
these
they
are
don't
my
want them there?
because it's isn't they worry about the infringement on privacy because like you don't as you're
Oh,
walking
because you surveilling
around,
everybody.
correct, and if they have
Uh-uh.
proprietary stuff that they don't want people, like you don't know what you're catching, and we don't know what Meta is doing with the data that they're receiving from these streaming devices either. So then it becomes, I guess, a risk to wherever you're filming because people can use it for whatever they want. You
Mm.
might have been looking at the board, to figure out what country you were going to in Epcot, but if there's someone else who's looking at it for something else, you may have
Uh-huh.
provided that information that they needed.
Them because it's going to a mainframe or something somewhere we don't
I
know where it
imagine.
is.
Right, like where it gets processed and
Because
held.
what
And
I'm thinking in
you
my brain
sign
is
over all your
like,
rights.
of course. But I was thinking to myself, but people can also do that with their phones.
Oh, for sure.
Like they're recording and stuff too. But
Yeah.
the meta glasses, I guess, would
Yeah,
also
because
have the
you don't
potential to have more.
because I
But
guess if
so
you have
people
the
are
light,
able to put prescriptions in them, is what I hear you
yes.
saying.
Yes, you can put your actual lenses in them and then just wear them as your glasses.
Hmm.
Which I mean, they were doing that before when they had the glasses that just had the Bluetooth in the ear. People put their prescription lenses in those.
Hmm.
And so it's like, they're your glasses. What do you mean you're banning them?
Interesting.
Which side note, if anybody's watching, can you do one with the auto translators? Can you put that in my glasses? Because that could be helpful. Thank you.
That would be very helpful.
You know,
That would be very helpful. That would be
I'd like that.
extremely helpful.
Somebody do
Okay,
that.
please. All right. So let's go ahead and get this show started.
Start the show.
We've done enough chit chatting and jabber. Here we go. Now, what's happening down here in this chat that's going on? We throwing glasses. What's going on?
She like to say I be slandering her because I said she threw my glasses at me. So then I fixed it
You had to
and said
reframe. They had to
in a loving
reframe.
way, like you don't need these.
Gotcha. You're gonna need
You
those.
don't need to
Not
see.
like, hey, yeah, not
Take
like
that,
that.
you blind bitch. Like she done said. That's not what happened.
Hey y'all, welcome to So You Don't Put Syrup on Your Grilled Cheese. And prior to this, in the show before the show, we was wondering how long it be taking y'all to figure out that we are actually related in real life. Because sometimes people don't be knowing, but we are two real life cousins, okay?
And we be here talking about stuff, a lot of different types of stuff and things about our childhood and all of that, as well as things that are absolutely recipes of dysfunction. And we have widened that lens and
Mhm.
now including systems and culture and things that's happening in the world. We're talking about discernment, preparation, community, but also we are so ridiculous, so we are holding space for laughter, for pleasure, for creativity,
Yes,
good food, joy,
please.
because staying human is one of the biggest parts of the resistance. And we are committed to that. Okay. So we need you to know that if you're here with us now, honey, you're right on time. All right. You are finally paying attention, and we're glad that you're here. Okay, we're glad that you're here. So
Amen.
my name is Kimberland, Thailand, House of O'Neill Jackson and Adams, empathetic energizer, intuitive, inspirational innovator, seer of souls who are hurting, healer of hearts, and voice to the voiceless. What up, y'all?
Hey, whoop, 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 whoop. Ba, 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 ba. Hopefully that one stayed.
That one's
I
there.
have
I
to like
believe in
put it
us.
deep in my chest. Well, I am Kalonda of House Jackson, first of her name, assistant of entrepreneurs, beacon of banter, creator of content, dancer of dreams, and excellence enchantress. And don't forget a NOLA native.
Period.
Now, we had a before, like Kim said. So before we go to the actual show, we're just going to go over some of the things in our community agreements, if you will, of what you can expect from us and what we expect from you. So, first and foremost, what you can expect from us is transparency. We're going to be who we are. We are not experts in everything, but we are experts in some things. And when there is that lack of us being an expert, we're going to connect you to the people that are, because we are connected. That is what we do. We are also a good damn time. And we curse a lot. So, not a lot. I shouldn't say a lot. We curse when appropriate, when it's necessary to spice up and color the language. So, feel free, monitor your surroundings and do what you have to do to make that all right with you. Okay. Now, what we look to you guys for is engagement. Be willing to come with us on this journey. Talk to us in the chat. Talk to each other in the chat. Well, if you're watching it live, if you're watching the rerun of it all, like just tell us what your thoughts are. Ask your questions in there. We definitely check it out and try to get you those responses. We would love if you interact with everything, all the buttons and bells you can press. Do that. So like, how you say that? Like, like, comment, subscribe, share again, and watch and go back and watch all the other things that we did before, because we were funny back then too, when we had really, really, really bad sound and a dog tap dancing in the background. So you can get all of that. You can find out the lore about all our forgotten memories and all the things. So if anything today made you smile, laugh, cry, just evoked any kind of emotion, share that with your friends and family, because there are going to be other people that may pick up something from that as well. And while you're out and about, there's a way that you can tell us that you came from So You Don't Put Syrup on Your Grilled Cheese.
We have emojis. And right now, I'm going to ask you to go ahead and drop some honey pots in the chat. Or if you are watching this during the replay, pause and just make a comment and drop us some honey pots in the comment. That is our official emoji for this space. That's how we know that you are a part of this community, that you are connected here with us. And then we also have the individual emojis. So my emoji is the sunflower and the crayon. The sunflower is yellow, which is my favorite color. It's also the symbol for invisible disabilities. And as someone that's funnier now in on the post of the disability conversation, but
Mm-hmm.
as someone who is neurodivergent and living with all sorts of things within my brain, I'm becoming a fierce advocate more and more every day for those of us that walk around with things that are not necessarily visible on the surface. And then the crayon is my other emoji because there was a time in my life where everything felt very black and white and gray. And I made a decision to color the fuck out of my life. So insert said crayon. And that manifests itself in choosing joy and choosing things that bring pleasure and coloring in all of those lines. So those are my emojis. Kalonda, tell them yours.
Hi. So my emojis are the ladybug and the blue heart. So the ladybug, because like we talked a little bit before, we do get messages from the universe, from God, from your ancestors, whatever you want to call it, however you identify it. And for me, ladybugs have been those messengers, and they just let you know that you're on the right path, you're going in the right direction, you're following your intuition, and getting that confirmation along the way. I've even seen them without spots when I was starting anew in different spaces, and that lined up with what was going on. So it's timely, and it like warms my heart because even the people that are in my circle start to see them and will be like, "Hey, girl, I just saw a ladybug," and they'll think about me and let me know, and then we can kind of talk about what's going on in their lives and figure out maybe why they're showing up for them. So it's an awesome conversation and way to just kind of grow my community as well. And then cobalt blue is my absolute favorite color. It's just warm and rich and feels like a hug. And I've, suffered through extreme burnout. And coming out on the other side of that, I decided that I want this part of my life to be very clear of what love looks like and not having to overthink it and ask, like, well, what does that mean? Do they mean it this way? Am I being too much? Like, I want to love out loud and be loved out loud. And so when you see that cobalt blue, or I call it cobalt blue, but when you see that blue heart, and the ladybug, that lets me know that you came from So You Don't Put Syrup on Your Grilled Cheese.
Yay. So during this time, if there is a time where you are like, yes, girl, that, you can drop those emojis
Yes.
into the chat and we receive that as y'all giving us love. Also,
Amen.
if you are here live with us and you have the ability to like press the hearts or press the laughing reaction or the 100, like as Kalonda said, interact, okay, with all the
Do the
things
thing.
because
Touch
that
the
helps in the algorithm that we are consistently fighting against. All right, cool, cool.
thing.
So, quick updates. We are at 1,582 subscribers over here on the Minding My Black Ass Business Network. Okay, so shout outs to all of our subscribers, the folks who are here with us. Shout out to Bianca, Melissa, Sherry, Miyoshi's in here, Amber. Shout out to those of you who are chilling with us during this live stream and also helping us to co-create the show. We appreciate
Amen.
you. We are less than 750 watch hours from being monetized. So please do go and watch other episodes. There's quite a few things that are over here on the network. It doesn't just have to be So You Don't Put Syrup on Your Grilled Cheese, but this is a great place to start.
Amen.
And last announcement, if you will, is if you are interested in being a guest on So You Don't Put Syrup on Your Grilled Cheese, we would love to have you. The first thing, though, is that you have to understand that you have to try syrup on your grilled cheese. It is mandatory. And you have to give an honest review about what that was like and how it tasted and all of that. And then we'll get you on the show and you bring your people and honey, we have us a good time. Okay.
The key.
So if you would like to do that, please send us an email to mindinmyblackassbusiness@gmail.com with the subject line, let me on there. And that is how you can submit to be a part of our show. Okay, anything else that you want to uplift before we get into the things?
I just wanted to reiterate the part where I said that we are not experts on everything. Because I'm sitting here, right? And this is, we're putting on a show as much as I think people do still think it's you just turn the camera on and you get on, right? There's a lot of setup, there's things that's happening, blah, blah, blah. So in my non-expert of things, I'm looking at my battery on my laptop and I'm like, why is it going down? but it's showing it's plugged in. And so I'm like, so because I saw it earlier, I'm like, but it's showing plugged in. Whatever. So then I'm like, I get down to 28%. So I realized, in my infinite wisdom, I have plugged my laptop into the USB connector that is attached to the laptop. Jesus, help us all.
So
So
you've been charging the laptop to the laptop. Girl, go plug in the stuff, girl, and get it together, girl.
moment, please. For the auntie on screen right now, because what the fuck am I doing? Lincoln.
Yo, this is the kind of stuff that people don't be talking about, bro. It is so interesting. There's a lot of stuff that be going on behind the scenes that it could be a whole blooper reel. It could be a whole blooper reel. When I was doing my podcast this past week, I had unplugged my mic by accident. So then it was on my Bluetooth. Then it was sounding muffled. I put a little thing in there. Hey, the sound finna be messed up. Okay, but it's gonna get
Be
back
aware.
together.
It comes back. Just hang out for a little bit.
Just bear with me. Okay.
I have plugged
I
my
am,
computer into the wall, y'all. I have done
listen.
it.
We are but aunties trying to keep folks informed about what is going on. Okay. All right. So before we get into the things that are yes indeed life updates and all that, I do want to give us the opportunity to just have a transparency moment. I did see a comment here. It says nervous system can't do the news, but I dare not be apathetic. Thank you for this space, right? So I do want to kind of just give you and I and everybody that is here with us, and again, those of you who are watching on the replay, an opportunity to just actually contextualize what you are feeling within your spaces right now, whatever you want to elevate. And so I am going to share the feelings wheel because that is a tool that often helps us to be able to think about different words that we may not just have within our brain already. So I'm gonna put it up here on the screen for a couple moments, and then we'll go through this process. And again, you all can share in the chat or in the comments. So I think it's on you to start, right?
I believe so.
Okay, well,
I
take
can
your
go with that.
time.
I'm like, I can go with that. Ciao, girl.
Well, take your time and put it in whatever
I like put my
container.
glasses on as I put my
Oh,
nose in
Jesus,
the
here she go
camera.
talking about she can't read. Now, where the glasses at that you done got throwed at you?
Got thrown at me. Jesus. Oh, goodness. Okay. Well, I'm feeling very playful in the moment for sure. I'm also feeling a bit anxious, not like overriding, overarching, but it's definitely there kind of under the surface. Um, I feel very in tune. I think well, it's weird to say in tuned and then follow it with I think, but I feel in tune and or maybe just aware, and it just feels very open right now. So I'm also mindful in that process of protecting space when I feel like that. So yeah.
Thank you for that. I will also add playful, definitely feeling playful and silly and joyful in this current space and container, if you will. Um, I will say sensitive.
Mm,
Um, and not necessarily like personally sensitive, though yes, but like sensitive to bigger pictures and understandings and
mm-hmm,
knowings. Um, I'll also say capable because I do feel like there are all is not lost.
mm,
Um, at At the same time, I can definitely say there are parts of me that are worried and concerned. Um, and so the word that, and I'm gonna stop sharing y'all, and then I'm gonna put this link in the chat for you for anybody who is here with us. If you want to pull this up on your end to help you find some additional words. So give me just a second. Here we go. Okay. So the word that had jumped out was horrified, and then I was like, I don't know that it really gets it because it's also like, what more do you expect? Like, yes, yes, of course.
Yeah.
Like it very much feels like that, but also I feel like if I divorce myself from the outrage, I guess, if you
Mm,
will, that I am muting pieces of righteous outrage.
gotcha. Mm,
Yeah. So that's kind of where I feel. So again, please do share with us where you are. We do this in an effort to acknowledge, not to judge, just to acknowledge. And it is possible to have a whole bunch
full
of
gamut.
feelings at the same time, right?
Yeah.
So you don't have to pretend, that everything is fine. Things can be fine in your inner world, inner space, in your little bubble, and also not
On
at the
fire.
same
Right.
time. Like at the same
On
time.
fire.
Correct. So feel free to share with us what that looks like and sounds like for you. So before we get into our Yes Indeed updates, let me go ahead and pause here for a quick commercial break that will allow us to kind of center ourselves in what my life updates have been looking like. All right, here we go. What if the thing you've always called too much was the exact thing God designed on purpose? This is for the ones who've always known they were different. Too sensitive, too loud, too knowing, too intuitive, too woo-woo. But what if your sensitivity is actually your superpower? What if your intuition was your inheritance? Discover Your Destiny is a 10-week sacred journey back to yourself. We explore the design of your soul, your spiritual gifts, and the unique way that God speaks to you. This isn't church. It's not a rule book. It's not a performance. It's the moment you stop chasing approval and start walking in divine alignment. You'll gain clarity, language, and confidence around who you are and what you are here on the earth to do. You'll learn the real voice of God. And if you feel called to go on to become a certified intuitive melanated life coach, this is where that path begins. There are 2 ways to enter this sacred container: the Destiny track, full investments and coaching experience, or the Divine Exchange track, where internship meets soul work. You'll support podcasting, content creation, or brand development behind the scenes while learning how your unique gifts benefit the collective. Your knowing isn't a flaw, it's the fingerprints of God. This is your invitation, and I hope that you'll answer. So, my life has
Yeah. What's been
been,
up?
what you say?
I was saying, yes. What's been up?
Oh, my life has been back and forth between this is wild. We really, really need to like expedite and get serious. And okay, you have a part of the blueprint for people to be able to do that. So I've
Mm,
kind of been existing in those 2 spaces, right? So like one moment it might be, this is crazy as hell. Like this is crazy as hell. Like we real life living through real life shit that's gonna be written in textbooks, and like people in the future are gonna be looking up so you don't put syrup on your grilled cheese,
you
and
know?
like following us chronicling what has happened during these
Yes.
times, like this is wild. And then the other part of me is like, okay, focus,
What do we do?
because you are a big part of this.
Mhm.
So make sure that things are in order, because you have this is a part of the path.
Right.
So I've been going back and forth about that and with that, and keeping myself off the ledge as much as I possibly can.
Child.
Because it's really been a lot to process in my head. And I feel like, so I had sent out a message this past week to folks, and I was just kind of like, hey, how are you processing everything, and like what's going on, and what's your
Right.
state of mind, and like just checking in on people. And the responses that I got were varied, and also was kind of really difficult for my brain to process,
Mm.
because I know so much, and because I am so aware that I can't it's difficult for me to understand how to bring people into more awareness
Mm.
without
Right.
oh my God, it's so many things. Because I recognize that there are steps in that you have to take in order to understand, and that there is an infrastructure that you have to have in place to be able to process what you begin to understand,
Hmm.
because accepting what is happening is detrimental to a lot of things. Like, it's
Right.
not just as simple
Yeah.
as, oh, the US is crumbling and there's going to be a new empire to emerge. Like, what does that
Right.
even mean? And what
Right.
does that mean for me as a person? And also, my rent is still due, my mortgage is still due, and it's the
Hmm.
first, and I don't have
Correct.
time to worry about that. So,
Right.
like, getting that and understanding that, but then also being like, okay, and also, though, there's a lot.
Right.
So, we're gonna really like talk about that throughout this time today, y'all, because getting unstuck and being able to get myself to the place of like, okay, you can focus, like you can do this,
Hmm.
and you can support other people in this, and that will make that's my part of the pie, if you will, that I own. Like, this is my slice. um yeah, it's been interesting.
To say the least, I can't. It's it is so much all at once. Um, and even just in asking yourself the how am I feeling? What does it feel like in my body? Like takes a minute to understand once you like separate all the other things that are going on, but realizing that there are people that are so in that phase of it's the first of the month. I have to pay my bills. Like that is their primary focus. And you often see on the internet if there are people that are talking about the changes that are coming and have been happening and what that looks like for day-to-day life. Sometimes the pushback is, okay, we're talking about it, but what are you doing about it? Or like asking you to like challenge people to what they're doing. In certain cases, they may not feel that there is something they could do. So it's often trying to draw the lines, of like, it may not feel like revolution, but helping people understand their feelings is part of it because they have to acknowledge where they are. And so many people are
Right.
walking around numb and not even acknowledging that there is a problem. So to them, they're like, revolution for what? Like,
Mm-hmm.
everything's the same. It's the same as it was yesterday, as it was
Mm-hmm.
50 years ago, as it was however long ago. Then it's like, getting people to tap into that is the work. So if you're working with people and helping them identify their goals, identify what joy looks like to them, like that is revolutionary.
Right.
And you have to give yourself the credit for that work. And then also call that work to the people that you're talking to, because that's not just normal thing. With your work
Mm-hmm.
and discover your destiny, it's not just here, read this book, and now you've gotten some new skills. Like it's there's work that goes into that. There's time, there's introspection, understanding, and grace, Jesus, and just like, where did that come from? So when you're looking at times like this, yes, what are you doing is important, but also recognizing that what you are doing may already be
Mm-hmm.
part of the revolutionary piece. So it's just giving yourself credit in that. And, it's always measuring the news and the messages that are out there, because depending on the source, it may have a very different.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for that. So yeah, I am preparing so we have two things going right now. So if you all were listening to the commercial, I said there are two pathways to be able to be a part of Discover Your Destiny. There is the Divine Exchange track, which is an internship track. And then there's the track where you just go ahead and outright pay for it. But I'm excited because we got our first couple applications that are coming through for the Found Her Future Collective. And that's where we're specifically focusing on Black women and building out some of these revolutionary projects that we have within the Mind of My Black as Business universe, within the Kimberland Jackson universe. And then there are some other universes that have entered the scene and ecosystem. So I really have tried to like, okay, today we're working on this and we're gonna see this from start to finish on this. Okay. Today we're gonna, because there's so many things, and because everything is so interconnected, sometimes my brain is just like, but wait, I gotta do this to have this set up, to have that set up, to do this, to that, to that, to that. And it's just been a lot. So I'm definitely proud of the work that I am doing, and I'm excited to welcome in a new cohort of folks who are going to have an opportunity to experience Discover Your Destiny and really understand what their unique giftings and callings and purposes are. I talked to one of the life coaches, who's, because I also certify life coaches. So I talked to one of my life coaches yesterday, and he was like, I'm ready. He was like, I'm ready. I got the things I know. Like, and it's just so
Love
exciting because this is the time. Like, this is the time for us to be turning on mics and like talking about what's happening. I also realize that that comes at a cost, and not everybody is in a space to be able to do that freely, which is one of the reasons why I try to use my platform as much as possible to talk about what's happening, because I'm outside the country, so, and that's how we try to show up, here to say the things that you might not be able to go off like you really want to go off on
you
your things,
know.
because you might need to, just lay low for a minute. So using that flexibility to be able to do that. So yeah,
Yeah.
that is my yes indeed life updates. That's where I've been. So if you're interested in learning more about Discover Your Destiny, you can go to dyd25.com. There you can also fill out the interest form, and then we can schedule some time to get you started. If you are wanting to know more about the internship program, it's 18 and up women. Again, we're specifically focused on Black women, but if you're not a Black woman, that's okay. But you do have to understand that we are Black women forward. Okay. So that's what we're working on over here. So you must be in line with that mission. Um, you can go to tinyurl.com/found her future, and her is HER. So found, FOUND, her, HER, future, tinyurl.com/found her future. So I'll put the link into the chat, and then we'll also put it in the description in case you want to get information about that. And yeah, that's it. That's all.
That's all. I love that. I love the intentionality on it, because it's a lot. It's a lot going on. And same thing. Um, Definitely processing what's happening in the world, the different I'm gonna call them what they are, atrocities under this administration, and also having been out of the country for a little bit, now being back in it, even just for like this month period, is very odd. and add that to working back in like an office with physical people. So it's like, oh, peopling, that's a thing. Like
Yeah.
there's people here. Um, so that's been interesting in an adjustment because of the work and the talking and the curiosity that kind of comes up for me being out of the country. Then I find myself trying to like self-censor it, but not leave people, have people walk away from me with like an idea that at least I don't feel like is accurate and representative of
Authentic.
what's happening, And so it's like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, let's
But
walk
you're
this
kind of like a
line.
magnet because they're like, oh my God,
Tell
you
me
lived in all
why,
these
right?
countries.
Like, why
Yeah.
did you
And you're
leave?
like,
What are you doing?
why are
It's
you
like,
still here?
everybody get out. Pack your shit and go.
Yeah.
But I think it also through some of like the conversations I've had with, because we talked like the very first day, basically, that I got into the States. And our show was a couple days after that. So it's been 2 weeks since I've been here. And some of my first day conversations were alarming because there was just people that were just like, oh, it's a good thing that it doesn't involve us. And I was like, how you figure we're not involved? This is everybody. Um, to now being able to see some of the work that I am able to do is part of that path of like helping people find their joy in this. And in order to find your joy, you also have to be honest about what's happening in your world and what's
Mm-hmm.
creating this friction. Okay, now that we've identified that, how do we get you to the other side so you can create spaces and pockets of happiness and community and joy for you and what you do and how that ties into the greater purpose for all of us kind of thing. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like the
Mm-hmm.
scenic route of the work. But if I wasn't peopling, I don't know that I would have been able to really get to that point. I don't know that I would have been able to make it. It would have felt very, very much just one on one. I mean, I know we have
Mm-hmm.
our
Mm-hmm.
conversations. Um, and as this family and community grows, it's not as many people that we physically can touch and that we know. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but in the meantime, it just felt very close. But this feels like there's an opportunity to have those larger conversations and to impact more people, um, which feels better as a person, makes me
Yeah.
feel good. And it just also really want I just want to see it happen to more people.
Right.
I hope that those awakenings and opportunities are there and being taken advantage of through other people of like, let me have this. If I hear something that I know is just not aligned with where we are politically or morally or whatever, like that, we call it out. And to
Mm-hmm.
call it out doesn't have to be disrespectful. It can just start a conversation. And if you're starting the conversation without the intent to change their mind, but just to give them that perspective, then I
Mm-hmm.
think sometimes it leaves room for them to walk away from that and kind of chew on it a little bit. And they may get to that same conclusion eventually. It's the light bulbs are not all going to turn on while you're in that moment. That's great when it
Right.
happens. Like I love a light
Yeah.
bulb moment. But people have to see it, because if it's the bills are due, you got to go work with Sally Sue so and so who might have some interesting opinions about the political landscape right now, and like how do
Right.
you balance that, because you still got to go to work. So anyway, that's been a lot of the peopling time. In even with like my therapist was asking, how do I feel being here, and I had to sit, and you had asked, like how are you processing and what are you doing. It's just very much seeing it and being open to feeling what people are going through, but also saying like that may not be mine to carry. Like that part isn't
Mm-hmm.
mine to carry. If I can
Mm-hmm.
walk away
Mm-hmm.
knowing that I shared my truth with them and
Mm-hmm.
that hopefully a piece of that like planted a seed somewhere that's going to sprout,
Yep.
I am
Yep.
fine with that.
That's
And
your
I
job.
I feel
Mm-hmm.
gracious to have been able to pass that on, Um so it's not a lot because otherwise it can build a lot of pressure of like I need to save everybody. You can't,
And we
like that's
can't.
that's just the
And
reality
I
is you
have
can't do it.
one of my one of my morning meditation videos.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Clarity.
Uh-huh.
And she talks about like your job is to save yourself,
Right. Be the
period, like
example.
full stop,
Correct.
right? And then in my saving myself, this is shout out to Melissa, because she was like, Kim, you taught us how to save ourselves. Like
Mm-hmm.
you did that. Like you were
Yeah.
like, hey, I gotta go save myself right quick and then I'm gonna come back, right? And so I love that you are getting the opportunity to sow those seeds because it really only takes one conversation
Correct.
to get certain things start rolling. Because even remember when I was here in Medellin and I met the young ladies on the tour, and I'm
Right.
like, y'all say y'all live here? Like, how y'all live here? And they was like,
Right.
girl, you got a passport, bitch. Go.
Why
Like,
don't you live here?
why?
Right.
And that's what they said. Why
Yeah.
are you still there? And that
Correct.
was in 2021.
Right.
Why are you still there? And I could not answer that question. And I sat
Right.
with that, right? So just having the opportunity to have a real conversation or ask somebody a real question,
Mm-hmm.
and then they go about their business. My job
Correct.
is not tied to the outcome. My
Right.
job is to share the truth of what is going on. And that is the end of the
Yeah.
assignment.
Correct.
Yeah.
100%. Be the example. Like people can see you did it. People can see, how you got there. And the way you share that is personal to you. If it's podcasts, if it's writing, if it's your Instagram posts, like whatever that vehicle is, you don't know the people that you're touching and the messaging that you're putting out there. So it is very important work, and it is work because there's vulnerability in sharing those things. Not everything's smooth and easy, but it definitely is a different way
Hmm.
of life because for me, I was still there because I didn't know anyone that wasn't in the military that was living out of the
Hmm.
country, and they were just out of the country for work. Like they weren't living because they chose to live somewhere else. And
Hmm.
so
Hmm.
when you
Hmm.
were gone, it was still kind of like a far off kind of concept of like, okay, she lives in Mexico, she lives in Colombia, like cool and awesome, but it never felt like something like, oh, you can live somewhere
Mhm,
else. You
mhm,
don't have to live
mhm,
here. What's
mhm.
keeping you here? And being able to say, well, you know what, I don't have to be. And having that conversation with people now, a year and a half or so since I've been gone, of like, why did you leave? And it's just like, now it's more of like I can speak to it from a place of joy, of like,
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
able to choose to have a lifestyle that felt good, and while being here now is good for my business, like I can put my hands on things and see stuff and kind of put the pieces together a little faster because I'm in the day to day of it all. Um,
Mhm.
but also being able to be excited about I can also leave. Like I'm good this
Yeah.
pace that I know I can work and that I am absolutely capable and able of doing. I don't have to live at this speed all the time. So I can go back
Mhm.
and adjust my rhythms, my routines to where I am able to still build that focus and time for me because it is hard to center that when you're working at that pace. And so
Hell yeah.
for me as someone who's like, I want to help entrepreneurs not be so burnt out, overwhelmed, working like that, I have to give that to myself. And so
Yeah.
finding that balance for me is the working, living example of that. Of like, yes, I am in this with you. And also I am going to be unavailable after 5 o'clock. Like,
Mhm,
like just
mhm,
finding what that
mhm.
looks like. I haven't gotten there yet. So don't be
I
rolling
was
your
just
eyes.
about to say,
Cause
I was
y'all
about to
may,
say, okay.
no, no, very much no. On the path. Very much no. There are too many people in this chat room right now, this second, that could be like, but girl, you just text me last night at
But
11
that's
o'clock.
the goal. That's the goal.
Put that goal out there. That is what you actively work towards. And so that is what I am doing. But peopling again, very interesting. Being open at the same time, feeling the energy, being cognizant of people's like backgrounds and what their views may or may not be. Um, but still being honest about where I am, and then kind of
Mm-hmm.
letting them go from there and trying not to cross any lines that would get
Mm-hmm.
anybody fired or upset, you know. So it
Mm-hmm.
is, that part is what it is. And I think it was because I like Amanda Seales and I like her forwardness. She's unapologetic of her mission. There are times where I'm like, but I err on the side of a softer message. So like there was somebody, I think they were talking about going to the protest after Renee
Mm-hmm.
had been shot and killed.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that she wanted to go to the protest. This woman wanted to go to the protest, and her husband was like, well, what about your family? You have kids, like you have to think about
Oh, and
that.
she called her
Him a
husband weak or something.
your husband is a punk, your husband is weak or something like that. Like she said that. I was like, oh wow. Because I mean, I get what she's saying. This person also lost their life. If everybody stays home because it's dangerous, then they win. At the same time, he is protecting his family. And like, have you
Mm-hmm.
considered the risks that are associated
Mm-hmm.
with going out there and protesting and
Mm-hmm.
putting your body
Mm-hmm.
on the line? So it's like, it was hard for me to say yes, that makes him a weak person for advocating for the safety of this woman he's said that he's going to protect, for whatever that
Mm-hmm.
is. But finding that balance, because that is essentially the message of, we all need to find the ways to mobilize and do those things. But if you're not in the space to physically put your body on the line, then how are you showing? I
How
think is the better way
correct.
to reframe it for me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because it's
Mm-hmm.
like, it still keeps the conversation going. Because once you call somebody
Mm-hmm.
a punk, they usually stop listening and engaging. So it's, you know,
Right. But also
but
that's her
also,
platform. And that's how she
correct, and
felt.
she can address it in that moment.
And girl, y'all figure that out. But also, yes, we do need to be doing something. So,
Right.
what does that
What
look
can you do
like?
and what does that look like? Right.
Yeah, I wanted
Yeah.
to highlight a comment here. It says it also requires being okay with going first and leaving the village behind to prepare the way. I had to set the intention and trust that the path would be revealed. Baby, when I tell
Whew.
you, I was out here, if I don't even know, I ended friendships behind this because I knew what God was telling me to do, and there were people who didn't get it, didn't understand, right? The other part of that was knowing, and this is what happened to me after I had sent that message and I
Mm.
got like the mix of responses. I said, some people gonna have
There you
to
go.
experience it.
Yeah.
Like I can't, because also I fear becoming that person. It's
Mm.
like, here she go, and I don't want to talk to her because here she go talking about this and that. And I'm not like that. Like I'm not like, hey, how you doing? The world is crashing and burning, huh? Huh? What you doing? Like
But if
I'm
it
not
come
that
up, I'm not
person.
gonna shy away from
But if it
it.
comes up, because I care about you,
Correct.
I am asking you,
What's
so
your
what
plan?
is y'all's plan?
Right.
Because time is steady passing. So what is your plan and what does this look like, right? And I'm
Yeah.
asking because I care, but
Right.
also there's accountability in, I
Right.
haven't really done anything with that, which I also get, but I'm also like trying to impress the urgency. I get it. So to your point of trying to not cross lines, but also I'm not gonna be able to let that one
I
ride.
can't
Like
co-sign
so
that.
that one, yeah,
You can't walk away and be like,
like
yes, Kalonda and I. No, we did not.
no,
We don't speak French.
no,
We did not do that.
yeah.
That's not what happened. I wanted to be clear
Yeah,
there. No.
correct. That you it's probably I feel like Lewis and I were talking the other day and I was asking him where he feels like we are. So before World War II,
Mm-hmm.
there was a 10 excuse me, a 10-year period where hell and terror was being rained upon the people. And it took 10 years for the world to finally be like, all right, I
Right. This
guess
is
y'all
enough.
done crossed enough lines where we really
Right.
got to go to war. And so that happens before any particular war. So I was like, where do you feel like we are within the 10-year awakening? And he was like, I feel like we probably got about 5 more years before things really before it's inescapable.
Hmm.
And so, but also that doesn't mean that, because the difference with this situation, and y'all, we finna and go ahead on and start in a minute running down some of these things that are happening, because child, the rabbit holes that we done ran down over this week, okay? Um
Over this week.
so we're about to contextualize this if you're saying to yourself, like, so what exactly? But he was like, I feel like we need to strap in for about a 5 to 7 year period of real installation and needing to get very serious about community and ensuring that we're taking these steps.
Yeah.
And that what I was going to say a moment ago is the difference this time in comparison to last time, which people will admit but don't understand how fucked up it is that things are happening on US soil
Right.
that have not necessarily happened like this before.
Hmm.
So it feels like this is a bigger escalation than things of the past,
Hmm.
even though America has always been trash. So the
Yeah.
more it's just we didn't know and we were
Right.
taught something different.
Yeah.
Um, but like we have a lot of installation to do
Yeah.
over the next few years to
Absolutely.
really ensure that we are able to come out on the other side. Because then the other
Yeah.
conversation was, what does that look like? Like to come out
Right.
on the other
On the
side, and
other
like
side of
how do
it.
we do that? But before we
Yeah.
take that, anything else you wanted to add to that? And I'm curious if there were any examples, like specific maybe things that you felt like you had to redirect people on, because
Yeah.
I'm curious to the people that are listening, they may need to know
To
like an
know
example for
when what
how
is the
do
point out.
I,
Yeah. And
yeah,
that was
like what
when
do I
you
say
right. And
when,
what does
yeah, go
that look
ahead. Go
like?
ahead.
No, for sure. Because that actually, your piece just then brought up one of the specific, actually, two examples. One example where I was having a conversation with someone and was able to do it. And then one was a conversation that I overheard between two people that kind of brought me back to a question I think that you had asked. And they all tie together. So one of my conversations when I first got here, it was talking about what prompted me to move, and it was just like recovering from burnout, seeing the writing on the wall with the political landscape, and not wanting to be here when he was put in office, and knowing that it was coming, regardless of what people were saying. Um, and just not wanting to be in it because I didn't know what it looked like on the other side of it, you know? Um, One of the comments that was made to me was, "Oh, well, it's interesting being a part of the second like civil rights movement and it not being about us, like about
Mm,
Black people."
mm,
And I was like, and immediately, like immediately that one, I was just like, "Oh, it's about all of us. Like it's everybody." And I think one of the questions that had come up, I think you may have asked me, was like, well, who is us? Like, who are they thinking it's happening to,
mm,
kind of thing, right?
mm,
And my answer at that point was, I believe they're thinking more of like an immigration situation, Hispanic people being targeted, to like declare and show their citizenship of where they belong and if they're here legally or not. And in the conversation that I overheard, it was a conversation where um, someone else was talking about like the political climate and what was going on, and saying like now they're openly killing white people, behind dissension on these different opinions. It sounds not heavy enough for like
mm,
whatever. Anyway, but and the person that they were talking to was like, what, they are? Like they
mm,
thought, I just thought it was Hispanic people. And so even
mm,
in that is like, it could be something as simple as having a conversation with someone in your family and them not knowing. I want to say I think when they bombed Venezuela, I don't think my mom knew that that had
Mm,
happened. So it's just like realizing that people aren't aware of what's going on because day to day life, I got you, and overwhelming news cycles, which we're going to go through some of the things that are happening that it's very easy to miss. Even though it
mm-hmm,
sounds huge, it's
mm-hmm,
easy to
mm-hmm,
miss because there's so much coming at you. So
mm-hmm.
in the conversation with the person that I was having, it was just more of a, oh no, this is definitely involving everybody because it starts at we're going after trans people. They're 1% of the population. We're going after undocumented aliens because they're spreading crime. To you're
Mm-hmm.
taking away
And calling
5-year-old
them
children,
aliens no,
right? As
illegal aliens. That's what they
illegal
say.
aliens. And it's like
Yeah.
people aren't illegal. It's not illegal to be a person.
And they aren't
Like, and
aliens.
they're not
Cut it
aliens.
out.
It's like anyway, anywho. So being able to just have those kind of quick, like, oh well no, it's all of us. Like this affects everybody. Because they start with the people they feel like don't have the defenses and aren't able to protect themselves. And then they systematically go through anyone else who is making their purpose and dream or their goal unrealistic or difficult. And it goes down the line. And as we go through like the list of what's going on, when it gets to the point where the people who are the truth tellers are targeted, then like this is clear. The goal is to keep the information away from you.
Right.
So you
Right.
have to be the one to seek out the information, to share the information. When you hear disinformation, rebut it
Correct.
and hopefully
Mm-hmm.
provide a valid
Mm-hmm.
source that they can look and research and do their own thing. It's like, and that's why the whole education piece was wild to me, where nobody was like, not nobody, but people weren't like as up in arms because it's like when you stop teaching kids to think, and that was never really the original intention. But when kids don't know how to think for themselves, then people can tell them anything. And now you couple that with technology that looks like real life
Mm-hmm.
and sounds like real life. If
Mm-hmm.
people don't have the background and ability to discern and say, let me go consider this source, let me see, is it somewhere else other than Facebook? Like, is that the only link that
Bruh,
exists?
I'm
It
so
probably didn't happen. Like, I mean, you think about all the Snopes, the whole reason for Snopes being a website was to be like, y'all, that's not real. That's a myth.
but nobody checks that.
But
They're not
nobody,
going over there. Mm-mm.
so it's like the fail safes are there, but part of it has to be us. Like when you hear that
Correct.
offhanded comment of like, oh, such like I've had people, they'll be like, oh, so and so, like they're just crazy. And I'm like, I'm not gonna no, like we don't know where they are. We're all on a spectrum of something. So
Facts.
we and where we meet them may not be that exact person and their personality. So no, I'm not going. You're not gonna call somebody crazy. Like that's just not. And I call
Mm-hmm.
myself crazy, and I still get fussed at.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, but it's just like, look, like that. Everybody's going through it. You don't know. You don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so yeah. Anywho, so those are the conversations. So if there's something that doesn't sit in your spirit that if you were having a conversation with your good homegirl and that wouldn't have been something that came out of their mouth, then plant that seed. What they
Mm-hmm.
do with it, their business. But they didn't walk away from you feeling like you were in agreement with that statement. Because silence is agreement.
Right.
Silence is acceptance. So when you stop it there, I think that's kind of what can flip that switch for.
Yeah. So it reminds me of the bystander when we talk about the
Mm-hmm.
bystander, when we talk to the kids about bullying and stuff, like making a different choice
Mm-hmm.
to stand up and say something, and yeah, that could be as simple as reframing what they say, illegal alien
Right.
to an undocumented immigrant.
Undocumented.
And
Right.
then it may look like asking a question. Why did you choose those particular words?
Right. Right.
I'd be asking questions because I try to understand what the underlying thoughts are and like
Mm.
what is it, because I think I approach it from this place of we've all been conditioned. We've all been
Right.
conditioned and
Right.
programmed. And depending on where you get your information from and how what your algorithm looks like,
Right.
you can have a very different view of the world than
Correct.
somebody else. So I try to
Correct.
get curious and be like, can you tell me more about why you said that?
Yeah.
You know, or I
Because a lot of
noticed you
times they
use
don't
these
know.
particular. They don't
They
know. It's something
it's
that
just the
they've heard.
regurgitation. Correct.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it. And that is the whole point of the system. So I want to pause here so we can take our second commercial break. I also need to refill my water. And we're going to quickly run through some of the things that have happened. Okay. So I want to give you what you say?
Go ahead.
Okay. I want to give you the warning just so you can kind of brace yourself. We're not lingering long for real on things, but we just kind of need to connect some dots about some of the things that are happening. And then we do have our Ask an Auntie submission that we're going to have at the end of the show where we will bring together the things that we can be doing in our personal worlds to help us to be prepared, to help us accept radical acceptance, like all of those things that need to happen. So wanted to give a heads up with that. So let's go ahead on and take our quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
Okay, be honest. Are you the CEO and the assistant and the person who fixes the Wi-Fi and remembers everyone's birthdays? Yeah, that's a full-time job, times 4. I'm Kalonda Jackson, Chief Visionary Officer of Visionary Executive Network. And I help people like you stop doing everything and start building businesses that don't run on chaos and caffeine. Your ideas, they're brilliant. Your systems, they might be a bit rough. Your team, they mean well, bless their hearts. But you deserve more support than vibes and AI prompt responses. And then we take all that stuff in your head and turn it into strategy, structure, and real support. I'm talking SOPs, team clarity, peace of mind, and your weekends back, at least some of them. So if you're tired of doing the most with the least, book the call, because burnout is not a business model. Let's build something wildly joyful by letting Vin take you from dream to done.
So if you are an entrepreneur, you're trying to figure out how to get the things together and in line and give yourself some more time to be able to think and strategize and self-care and the things. Visionary Network. Okay. Drop that link in the chat, Kalonda, so that
You got it.
they can click that. All right. So, y'all, a lot of things been going on. And we are gonna run through some of them in our rabbit hole section. And there have been so many rabbit holes to go down this week. So where do we want to start? I guess I can start with, so I was having a conversation on, that's not fair. Conversation is not fair. Let's reframe. I made a couple comments on Tamika Mallory's Instagram page because she had posted, where is it at? Let me find it. She had posted about, I think it was one of the murders. And what she said in her caption was about voting. And it kind of sent me over the edge. So hold on.
And I just
Oh,
realized.
no, she posted about Don Lemon. That's what it was.
Okay.
So let's run this down real quick, just before I tell you that. Let me run this down. Some of the things that have happened. So we have mentioned the ICE raids that have been going on. ICE stands for Immigration Custom Enforcement. It's been happening all across the US in some major cities, such as LA, Chicago. I heard they were going to New Orleans. I don't know if they ever
I
got there.
Yeah. I feel like they were there.
Okay. I just saw something the other day that mentioned Tampa and St. Petersburg. There's been a lot of conversation about working with ICE, cooperating with ICE, but the biggest resistance, if you will, that we have seen has come out of Minneapolis, Minnesota. Minneapolis is also the home of George Floyd, who was murdered in 2020, as well as Philando Castile. And I don't remember what year he was taken. We'll have to look it up in a second. But nonetheless, Minneapolis is the hub right now of a lot of things that are happening. So these ICE raids have been going on, and on December 31st, Keith Porter Jr. was killed by ICE, and that was in Los Angeles. On January 7th, Renee Good was killed by ICE. On January 24th, Alex Preddy was killed by ICE. Renee Good and Alex Preddy are both white people. So a white woman, LGBTQ, because that matters. And Alex Preddy was a VA nurse, and he was killed by ICE. After that happened, the leader of ICE, or the face, he was like the only unmasked person, Greg Bovine, he was reassigned on January 27th because there was a whole bunch of stuff. People sent out letters, corporations, including Target, were like, hey, y'all need to chill out now, relax. Y'all need to figure out a way to work together. So then Bovine was reassigned on January 28th. Ilhan Omar, who is also she's not in the Senate, she's a representative.
Right.
She's a representative, but out of Minnesota. So she was sprayed with something at a town hall meeting. Then January 30th, Don Lemon, Georgia Forts, and two other Black journalists were arrested for covering what was happening in Minneapolis at
A church.
I guess they had gone into a church where the pastor of the church is a general or regional director or some type of director for ICE. So they had gone to ask this pastor, how can you be a pastor and saying that you a Christian and you are out here causing this type of harm? And so because of that, they were arrested. They have, at least I know Don Lemon and Georgia Forrest have been released. I'm assuming the other two journalists have. Okay. So Tamika Mallory made a post about Don Lemon that he had been taken into custody. And her caption said, if you didn't vote, I pray you sit with that decision and do better forever. It's completely unacceptable. I won't even address those who actually voted for this disaster. F you forever. Stay away from me. And so I commented and I said, let's practice radical acceptance. This is bigger than voting. There are no free and fair elections. This will not be fixed by voting. So then she responded and she said, voting is absolutely a part of the process. If it wasn't, they wouldn't be trying so hard to take away our right to vote. We are the only ones who don't understand the power of our civil liberties. And then I said, sure, a part of the process, but it isn't what will fix what is happening. This is bigger than voting. We have way more to do than just vote. And so the thing that bothered me about that is I feel like people are still holding up this sham of a picture of democracy as if we don't recognize that the 2020 election was compromised, that we don't see that this man is a 34-time convicted felon, that we don't see that his name is all over the Epstein files and everywhere in between, of doing egregious, horrendous, diabolical in real life things to young girls. You think we finna vote? Like, you think after all of that, there's about to be, and everything's gonna be better. Like, and you, like, so it makes me confusion,
Mhm.
because I don't understand why. And someone like Tamika Mallory, I would expect to have a deeper understanding of the systems that
Mhm.
are at play.
Right.
And while I am not like discouraging people from voting, sure, I think that is great. I think that you're going to put your name on the record saying that I was against this, and I think that's wonderful.
Right.
I also do not believe that any of the elections, especially federal elections, because they
Mhm.
also they raided the supervisor elections in
Georgia, right?
Georgia, Fulton County, because that was the county that they had charged him. What's her name
Correct.
down there? Fani
Fine.
Willis,
Mhm.
that they were charging him with stealing the election. That's also been proven, like that's
Correct.
what happened. But now they went and raided the supervisor of elections. So now, and took the physical
Machine
documents, not
and
copies,
documents. Right. No,
took everything, all of it. So now y'all don't have proof of anything at all.
right.
Let me just get all of that, right? So the federal government raiding a state supervisor of elections. So anyway, I'm frustrated, because I need us to move past thinking that we are living in this democracy that they've sold us. That's not what's
Right.
happening, because I feel like it limits our capacity to be able to do things, because we
To
think I
activate.
just gotta go vote.
Yeah. Let me wait
And
these 3 years out. And that's why it is anywhere from 4 to 7 years, let's just say, before it comes to a head. Because what's going to happen is, let's say there is this next election and people go out and vote and someone else is put into power. The machine that is behind the figurehead is still there, and the machine has been able to see success. So they're not giving up that power. So trust and believe the person who comes behind them is going to be run essentially by the same entity. That's at least another 4 years of this.
mhm,
And this is best case, quote unquote, scenario. If there is someone who comes in that is for the people and believes in democracy and wanting to create that, because it doesn't exist here, create that for America, to undo the things that have been done
correct,
in the system take longer than that term. So it's
correct,
not a matter of, oh, we just need to get somebody else in office. And so people are waiting this wait period for what? Like
correct,
waiting to exercise their right to vote because that's going to fix it. It's a false sense of security because there is no
correct.
security in that. Like you have to start activating today because the changes are happening now. And I don't have children, but for people with children, these things are happening to your kid. They're changing the way, not changing, but they're doubling down on education being the path for filling these ranks. And it's not
Mhm.
to be free thinkers. It's not to be, fully actualized human beings that are empathetic and compassionate to their neighbors. That's not the lesson that's on the
Correct.
plan.
That
It's
stuff
to,
is illegal to talk about now. That's what I
right.
specialize in: social emotional learning and emotional capacity and social awareness and responsible decision making. That is illegal now. We are not supposed to be teaching children that. Ask yourself why. Why would we not want to teach children emotional regulation? You mentioned earlier about teaching kids to think. That's why I didn't realize how long I've been on the hit list. But I had made that my mission. Like I was like, hey, if y'all don't learn nothing out of here, I don't give a damn if you know what the cell wall in the nucleus is. You're gonna learn how to think. Now, you're
Right.
gonna learn how to think, and you're
Yes.
gonna learn how to problem solve, and you're gonna learn how to have some metacognition and think about your thinking and ask questions. That's what you're gonna learn how to do. Because school is
Absolutely.
not set up for that. School is set up to regurgitate and spit
Memorize.
out
Exactly.
lies.
Yes.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's right on. And so this is what's happening to our kids. They came for the kids first because that's where it is. When we didn't protect our children, when they were coming in there with guns shooting them, that for me, that for me was the, oh, we ain't shit. Like we are in trouble. If you would rather design a bulletproof backpack
Right.
and doors that are reinforced than take away the machines that are actually hurting the kids, there's an
Mm-hmm.
issue because that was tied to the money. And that's what
Mm-hmm.
the answer is. So anywho, um, seeing that those things have happened and are happening, that doesn't get undone. They're getting rid of the public broadcast, no, got rid of, not getting, got rid of the public broadcasting, places that, again, taught children how to be good neighbors, how to build community, and now are replacing it with turning point, I can talk, propaganda,
Mm-hmm.
and going after these children in these chat rooms and in Discords and in Twitch and in Roblox. Everywhere your kids are is where they are. And they are
Mm-hmm.
starting them young. And that is not to like scare anybody. That's just what it is. And that's
Mm-hmm.
where they are. So you definitely want to get involved with what your children are looking at and seeing and doing because I guarantee you they have had this exposure in some of the places where you may not have. You may be still going, oh, they bombed Venezuela. And your kid can tell you that why the sanctity of marriage is important and that women should be subservient to men.
Right.
You
Right.
know, like
Right.
your kids have this
Right.
information. So
Mm-hmm.
anyway, that's definitely why it's a longer cycle. I don't even know where I got here from, but so feel free somebody bring the train back because your girl lost fun.
No,
Yeah,
just the you were saying that when we didn't get upset about that, like if we
yeah,
don't care about anything that's happening, we should care about what's happening with our children.
yeah,
And those of us who are educational activists, like we've been talking about this forever. Like Bianca talks about all the things that are happening in these social media streets and check the damn cell phone. And like, we've been talking about all of this stuff because to Kalonda's point, this is where it starts, right? So if nothing else is causing concern, that should be, but also people are very disconnected from school board meetings and curriculum and like all of that. So we have to tap in to understand so that we are able to strategically make choices for how we're going to insulate ourselves, our families, our children from the pending harm that lives outside of our doors, right?
yeah.
The life coach I was talking to yesterday, he was telling me when he was saying he was ready, I said, well, what you gonna focus on? So he was like, males in early childhood education. And I said, yes,
Hmm.
because that early childhood education, that's where it starts. They start
Absolutely.
in preschool. The moment that your children walk through an institutionalized school, I really sound hotep right now, but y'all, I'm so serious.
But
Like,
that's
I
what
am
it's
so
what it is.
serious. Like
It's what it
the
is.
moment that your children walk into those institutions and you walk out of the door, they are being programmed. And so we cannot afford to just tap out, right?
Right.
So that's going on. I mentioned the Epstein files. I haven't even been able to, I think I've only seen two like real compilations that someone sent me on Instagram of the types of things that are in there. I don't, first of all, I don't need to see the Epstein files to feel outraged, right? I'm already
Right.
there. I
Yeah.
don't need I don't need to know the depth of evil and sadistic shit that these people have done to be outraged, right? But I also was like, let me see
See,
what
to
might,
understand. Right.
y'all, it's not good. So why does this matter, right? So yes, Trump is in the Epstein files, but guess who else is in the Epstein files? A whole bunch of other fucking people. A
And
whole
guess who's
bunch of
not in the
other.
Epstein files that are still just as equally terrible? Like, unfortunately, when you can look at a statistic that says like 3 out of 4 women that you know have been sexually assaulted. Trigger warning. Sorry. I always do those after I say the triggering. But it's a fact. You know, the Epstein files, yes, it puts the list of all the people, the prominent people that you'd be like, oh my gosh, I did.
Mm-hmm.
Bill Gates gets
Who
down
got
like
to
what?
that level of access?
Right. Which is
Mm-hmm.
because what's stopping them? You know, the money and the influence. But there are people every day, your neighbors, that uncle you don't talk about, your cousin down the street. Like, unfortunately, if it's happening next door, I'm not
Mm-hmm.
surprised that with millions and billions of dollars
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
access
Mm-hmm.
to whatever your wildest dreams could be, that they wouldn't have these same proclivities,
Right.
you know, and be
Right.
able to put that harm on multiple people and have it sanctioned and protected is
Yeah.
not a surprise, which is
It's not.
sad. But it's like, why do we even need to see it? We
Correct.
don't need to see it. We believe it already. We know it happened. And even if it wasn't those specific people, we know that it has happened and is there. I mean, I remember being in, must have been 5th grade. I don't remember exactly when Terrence, Clarence Thomas, I'm like, I
Oh,
can't talk
Clarence
today.
Thomas and
When
Anita
Clarence,
Hill.
the whole trial, like
Mm-hmm.
we were watching that in
Mm-hmm.
school. And to
Mm-hmm.
hear something like, wait a minute, like, and this guy got confirmed to be
Mm-hmm.
a Supreme
Mm-hmm.
Court justice for life,
Mm-hmm.
putting
And that
pubic
black skin.
hairs on a Coke can, a black man. You know, and it was
Mm-hmm.
just like, it's been happening, y'all.
But
You
we've been
know,
desensitized. So
right.
that's the thing, is a part of the biggest part, I think, of the revolution is undesensitizing ourselves from all of these horrific things. Right now, that doesn't mean that we get lost
No,
in everything that's happening,
excuse
right?
me.
But recognizing this is not okay. Like, this is
Right.
not okay. And so then what do I need to
These
do
two. Right.
to protect myself and my children? And what
Mm-hmm.
kind of conversations do I need to be having with intentionality to ensure that my children are growing up with a true sense of who they are, as opposed to who they're being told that they are? I see a comment here. It says, my daughter doesn't do well in school, but I try to always tell her that school is essentially just memorizing, and it does not mean she is not smart. Exactly.
Absolutely.
But the school will tell her, because you can't spit out these stupid ass, random ass facts that are not true.
That
Because
aren't even
that's the
true
other
at the end
thing.
of the day.
If your daughter is someone who has some type of intuition and some type of critical thinking, so she's seeing that this don't quite
Like,
make
this don't
sense.
line up.
Spit it
Right.
out, right? This is why I never loved history, because I was just always like, why the fuck we keep looking at these dumbass timelines? And it like, why? What is the relevance? They're not going to give them the relevance.
Right.
So if you have children that are very much intuitive and tapped in and curious and asking questions, no, they're not doing well in school, because school is
Right.
not meant for that
It's
type of
not for
person
that.
to do well. They want you to sit your ass down, shut
Be
up, write
quiet.
this
Take these
stuff, be
notes.
quiet, and that's it.
And pass this test so we can
That's
get some
it.
more money, please and
So
thank
that
you.
I can get what I need to get, right? And that's not
Right.
saying that all teachers are that way,
No,
but the
the
system of
system.
school is
Right.
set up that way. So when you
Correct.
encounter teachers like myself, who was like, hey, you finna learn how to think. That's what the hell you about to do. That is
Right.
an anomaly, because the system is not set up that way, right?
Right.
So we have to understand the systemic things that are going on, because that is where the that's where the truth lives in what the
Absolutely.
system is. So the types of systems that allow people with access to access purchasing people. The fuck you mean you purchasing a person? What?
Right.
I don't have access to that kind of information.
Right.
What, like, my brain wouldn't even conceptualize that. That's the other thing. When you spoke about Amanda Sales earlier, one of the things she said the other day was, we need to accept how evil these people actually
Right.
are.
Yeah.
And those of us that live in the light, we have a very difficult time
Because you don't think
understanding, because
that.
how?
I would,
So you
even
don't
my worst
even
enemy, right? You know, like I'm gonna go out to actively hurt you. Like I know putting this system in place is going to cause you harm. No, there's a
on
different way.
purpose?
Let's find a different way. Like
Correct.
how can I get what I need without hurting you? Like there's a way. There's always a way to do that. Like,
But
but
conceptualizing that there are people that are actively looking to harm, they're
yes.
actively looking for ways to be able to cause harm, cause hurt at the detriment of whomever don't care, because the system doesn't care. The system is the system. And you may be asking what system? So we got capitalism, we have white supremacy culture, we have Zionism, we have patriarchy, we have homophobia. All of those systems work together in
Right.
order to create this narrative for us, right? So we, especially those of us with fully developed frontal lobes, we really have to be very critical about what we are receiving and where that
Hmm.
information is coming from, because
Absolutely.
the whole point is, somebody has said earlier, they want to lull
Yeah, to
people
lull
to
you.
sleep in a
Hmm.
false sense of security while they prepare for the next phase of the project plan. So knowing that, what are we doing to prepare for the next phase of the project plan? Because
Right.
this is not being fixed by voting, guys. Like, the
Correct.
train has left the station. Okay. So knowing that, then what do we do to support ourselves and insulate ourselves
Right.
so that we're ready? And I can really say with Minneapolis, I've just been so impressed with the way that they have set up the networks. Like, so they have
Hmm.
signal chats that they're
Right.
using to alert people if ICE comes, and they've got a whistle system, but also they're having to adjust quickly,
Right.
because
Because
they
ICE is
also found,
adjusting.
because ICE
ICE
is
is
adjusting,
right.
as because they said they was infiltrating their chats. So
Yeah.
now they have to think
They're
about a
like,
different way
okay.
to be able to
Right.
organize, a different way to be able to disseminate information, right? And so this is one of the big things for me when I be talking about like building community and like understanding where people are. And one of the reasons that I had sent out that message, I was like, do we have each other's emergency contacts? Do we
Hmm.
know where people live that are connected
Right.
to us? Like, do we know what who the teachers are? So when I
Right.
get my kids out of these people's schools, that we
I
have
can get
homeschool
them
centers
right.
set up so that they're
Yeah.
able to learn and be in a safe environment, because you got to probably go to work, right? Are
Right.
you understanding that when you walk into work, that this is an active war zone and that you need to be addressing it as such, right? Or are you still walking into work just talking about all the things, and now you don't know, we don't be
You don't
knowing.
know. You don't
So
know.
we have to assume until shown otherwise that someone is opposed to us. And then if they show with action and, consistency, that they are aligned with the movement, and the movement is not black or white, y'all. That's what I need you to
No,
know.
no, definitely
There
not.
are black people that are a part of the system
All
of
skin folk
harm.
ain't kin folk. Period. Just please. Now, granted, and it's a weird, it's a awful feeling to have because I've had this conversation with other people who also have lived outside the country that you do look for you. You look for
Of
there,
course.
and I'll use I statements. I find comfort when I see other Black people. I
Absolutely.
go, oh, okay. Like even here, just for dinner. Like we went out to a restaurant yesterday, and they had like a Black family leaving. There was a Black hostess when we walked in. There was a Black guy who opened the door for us, and I was like, oh, cool. This food might actually be good. Like there are things that I ascribe to what's
Mm-hmm.
about to happen
Mm-hmm.
based on the proximity of Blackness. Because I'm like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I'm gonna enjoy this. Well, then I walked in and it
Mm-hmm.
was like every table was filled with like all white families, and that doesn't mean the food was good, but it was just that thought, like we do look for ourselves to determine safety because it's
Right.
like, oh, if we are here, then someone vetted this, you know, like
Yeah,
someone said this was okay. But the problem is that's not always true.
it
And they
really,
will send your own in there to
absolutely.
distract you, to dissuade you, and sometimes not even intentionally, but they will teach us how to keep each other down and how
Yeah.
to inflict our own fears to keep
Mhm.
you from going. Like Kim said, she's ended friendships over just making the choice to choose her and live outside of this system. And that's why I was like, I didn't really even tell anybody. It
Mhm.
wasn't a I'm not telling anybody. It was just I don't oh, this is what I'm this is where I am. I made it.
Mhm.
Ta-da! You know,
Mhm.
so it's like all skin folk ain't Kim. And then
Yeah,
all people who are white are not evil. I mean,
correct.
that's where the
There are
discernment, the
people who
intuition.
happen to be white. There are white
Correct.
people and there are people who happen to be white.
Yeah.
And to your point of discernment, this is why I be curious about when people say certain things. And I don't just be curious when people say things that show me that they've been programmed and that they have some bias that they need to deal with. I also get curious when people say things that let me know that they've done this work
Mm-hmm.
because I want to understand what drives someone to seek the truth
Mm-hmm.
because that is my job in leading
Right.
people towards the truth. So, what is it that is pushing you to ask different questions? Because that means we had a comment. The hardest thing for me to accept is how inhumane people really are. Like, how can you actively want to harm people? I can't wrap my mind around it. That's somebody that has said, this don't make sense. Let me go and look a little deeper, or let me go and seek out another source, or let me ask some additional questions, right? As opposed to that ain't got shit to do with me and I'm
Mm-hmm.
just doing whatever. Like there's a certain type of person that starts to ask more questions. So
Right.
I get really curious about that as well.
Yeah.
So we want to give y'all some places that we get our dues so that if these folks align with you and you feel led, please go follow them on their social media platforms. But I'll also say make sure that you join their email lists
Right.
because, baby, when I tell you this social media life is quickly coming to a close, I think they finna shut down my Instagram
You think?
because,
Are
yeah,
you
because
getting?
I've
Are
been
you?
getting, huh?
No. Go ahead. I was about to say, are you getting notices? But go ahead.
Yeah, I've been getting weird password reset notices, and then when I log in from my phone, it's like, you want us to save your password? So okay, yeah. Then I log in again, it's like, you want us to save your password? Y'all just asked me that.
Like I thought you did that.
So, and I've already noticed like that the numbers started going down and like the people that is being shown to, like I've noticed that a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but anyway, I bring that up because you want to make sure that you're connected to people that are connected to what's actually happening. We cannot rely on mainstream media right now. I'm sorry. I don't
Yeah.
and I don't, there might be some rogue people out there that are, sticking it to the man while they're sitting at their desk. But
At the anchor desk.
overwhelmingly, what I know about all the media outlets is that all of them have been purchased by billionaires. And
Right.
therefore, all of that is being
That news is coming
controlled.
from them.
Correcto. So we want to give y'all some examples. So we already mentioned Amanda Seals, and
Mm.
Amanda does a weekly live stream on Wednesdays. I don't know what time. It's Wednesday mornings, so maybe 10 or 11 or so. I don't know. But over on her YouTube page, she is currently on Instagram as well and Upscrolled. So Upscrolled is the new social media outlet. A Palestinian Australian person owns it.
Oh, I
So a
haven't seen
lot
that.
of people, when TikTok was purchased, that's the other thing. TikTok just got purchased by a billionaire. So a lot of people
A
was talking
billionaire
about
group,
group,
Oracle, like
Oracle.
multiple, all the peoples. It's
Multiple
wow.
billionaires.
Yeah.
And people were talking about logging into their TikTok and that the algorithm was different. The terms and conditions were dated and like all that kind of stuff. So it's a lot of stuff going on TikTok. A lot of activists lost their pages or they just left themselves. So anyway, social media is a lot. So Amanda Seals, and then I also have on here So Informed is another platform, and they do pretty well at keeping us up to date on different things. Drop Site News and Al Jazeera. I also have Breakthrough News are some of the places that I get things from. So I want to drop these into the chat as well. You want to give them a couple of yours?
Yeah. So some of those are the same. But even just creators that have different perspectives to ask the questions that maybe you hadn't heard that way. But Aaron Parnas, he's more of a news reporter-ish rogue on TikTok, um, that actively says like we are not, as the media, we are responsible to not normalize what is happening. It is not normal for the leader president of a country to have an AI generated video pooping on their constituents. Like that's not
Yeah,
normal.
it's so
And
bad.
as the media, we need to say that's not normal, not just, oh, there goes Donald again. He's such a kook. Like that shit ain't cute, and something people need to say it. So Aaron Parnas, Rachel Maddow, I know she's still mainstream, but I look at the mainstream in the sense of there are lots of limits in censorship to what is being said and what is being told and where it is. So when you hear those things that are on the outliers, it's like, okay, that is important too. And to the other side of it, you want to hear people infiltrate.
What they're talking about.
Correct. People infiltrate the opposition, so you know what they are thinking. So you also do need to have somewhat of a working knowledge of what is being said, so you can counteract that with truth, because that is what
Mm-hmm.
people are being told and what they think is happening.
Mm-hmm.
Under the Desk
Mm-hmm.
News is another alternative version. Global Summit Flotilla talks about a lot of what's happening in Gaza, and like where the mobilizations are. We talked about Minnesota and all the different states that have had ICE occupations, um, and what those protests look like, and understanding that ICE looks differently now. Some of them aren't necessarily masked. They might have on sweatshirts and not face
Mm-hmm.
masks. They might be
Mm-hmm.
blending in a little more, so you can't, pick them out. As we are learning and evolving, so are they. So
Yeah.
it's very important to look at these different sources. If it's not, because we say news in the sense of it's not at 5 o'clock or 3:30 with your favorite anchor that talks about the weather anymore. So wherever you're getting your information is the news. If it is from TikTok, if it's from Instagram, if it's from your favorite content creator, just getting that, to Kim's point, away from some of these big platforms, because we don't know when and how those things are changing. Just the other day, the X head released a beta of a Bluetooth social media, so that it's designed to exist without Wi-Fi. And so when they start doing these things, and we take note of all the outages we've had with cell phones, with Amazon internet, this is how we connect to the world.
Mm-hmm.
And so if things are happening where those systems go down, that is time to pay attention to what is happening around us. Because how do
Mm-hmm.
we communicate with each other without this? What does
Right.
that direct line look like? So to Kim's point about, do you know your friend's address? I don't know if Amber's still in here. The other day she was coughing when we were on the phone, and I was like, now, if something happened and this girl choked and passed out, like I don't even
You don't
know
even know
where
where
to
to
send
send
the
nobody.
people. I don't know. She's in Colombia. She's in Medellin. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like I can tell you this. So but that sounds dramatic, but we are connected electronically. And if any of those ties get severed, how do you get reconnected? What does that look like for you? So some of this is just how do you connect with the news based on what we've seen, but build your own and tell us in the comments, who are some of the people you are looking at and listening to for your updated news that you trust, because that again is how we build that community and those networks. Because you're getting it from somewhere too, and we want to know because we like to know
Yeah.
things.
Yeah. I was
So,
gonna say one of my favorites, that I really like. She does a good job for me. Her name is Monty Mater, and
mhm,
she is a former alt-right Christian. How does she describe herself?
I love those because
I
they have the
know.
inside. They know, and they've been able
Correct.
to change their mind. Like they've been able to
Correct.
see, like, hey, I wasn't always right, and this is where I got it wrong.
Former alt-right Christian nationalist.
Mm,
And now she calls herself a deconstructionist. So yeah, to your point, people that have been on the inside have to know, like they're telling you the game plan, they're telling you what's up. Like I've been in there, I know what's going on. I've been in the rooms, I've heard the conversations, I have parts of the playbook, right? So
correct.
being able to tap into those types of people so that we're able to stay connected to what is happening and then figuring out what to do from that.
Right.
So let's go ahead on and grab our, oh wait, did I, yes, I did. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab our Asking Auntie today. I don't know if you want to say something about Nicki Minaj's silly ass or
I feel like Billy Porter summed it up really well. Did you see his
what
response?
did he say? Mm-mm.
He said they asked him on the red carpet, I think when they were doing the Mariah Carey induction or tribute or something. And they were like,
Uh-huh.
what do you think about Nicki Minaj being in the news? And he was from the depths of his soul.
Uh-huh.
He was like, "Fuck her," and I was like, I think that sums it up pretty
That sums it
accurately.
up.
I felt like that was
Cool.
it. If y'all
I
have any
agree.
other opinions, feel free to drop them in the chat. And
I
I loved
agree.
Nicki Minaj. Like I was Barb adjacent, but
Really.
oh yeah, you can tell me
I
that.
never was. I always
Oh
thought
yeah,
that she was interesting with all her voices and all that kind of stuff, but
hmm
she was fine, but girl,
yeah,
get out of here.
yeah.
So that's what we have to say about her. All right, so let's get into our Ask an Auntie. And Ask an Auntie is our segment where you all write to us about the things that are happening in your life and you get our opinions about what we think. Also, the audience is able to help us and to share their opinions as well. So if you would like to submit an Ask an Auntie, you can do so anonymously, but please do give us information like your name, your age, your location, if that's relevant, or your region, um, your height, if
Some
that matters.
some
Like give us the
context.
demographic things,
Some
your
context.
political affiliations, like give us some context so that we understand what is happening. And if you would like to submit an Ask an Auntie, please go to tinyurl.com/ask an auntie. Okay. All right. So let's get into our Ask an Auntie for today. It says, Dear aunties, I'm writing because I feel stuck, overwhelmed, and honestly a little ashamed that I don't know what's the right thing to do. Wait, let me start over. I'm writing because I feel stuck, overwhelmed, and honestly a little ashamed that I don't know what the right thing to do is anymore. Every day there's something new happening. There's police violence, elections that don't feel free and fair, genocide streamed to our phones, lies wrapped in headlines, distractions dressed up as celebrity news. I want to be informed. I believe it's my responsibility to know what's going on, especially as a Black person, especially knowing our history of being erased, lied to, and gaslit. But staying informed feels like it's costing me my peace. My body feels tense all the time. I scroll even when I know it's too much. I wake up anxious. I'm angry, grieving, and exhausted before the day even starts. And then I hear people say, protect your peace. And I don't really know what that actually means in practice because checking out feels irresponsible, but staying plugged in feels unbearable. I don't want to be numb. I don't want to be naive, but I also don't want to live in a constant state of dread. How do I stay aware without burning myself out? How do I care without drowning? How do I know when I'm being informed versus when I'm being overwhelmed? I'm asking because I need guidance. I need permission to do this differently if that's even possible. Right now, I just feel stuck between my values and my capacity, and I don't know how to move. With love and fatigue, a tired but still trying niece.
Yes, indeed. Well, hugs to you,
Girl,
niece, first and
niece
foremost.
girl.
First and
We feel you,
foremost,
girl.
here's a teeny hug for you. Because understood. Definitely understood.
Deeply.
Yeah. Um, wow. So I think one of the first things you said in your letter, thank you for submitting, is, needing permission to deal with it differently. Like that for you, granted. You grant yourself that. There is no one that can tell you how to feel about things, and what affects you and what doesn't, and what disturbs your spirit and what is peace for you.
Right.
Like you grant that permission to yourself. You deserve that. Um, and you are the sole controller of that. I know we talked about like starting with the kids, like we'll tell kids, oh, don't cry, it's okay, don't cry, and it's like, you know
Mm,
what, sometimes, yeah, go ahead, cry. Like what made you feel like that? Let's talk about that feeling. So allow yourself those feelings. Like all of that is real, all of that is valid, that is your experience. For me, what I can talk about as far as like protecting my peace and walking that balance between overwhelmed and head in the sand. Um, Part of it is creating routines, and some of them I'm better at adhering to than others. So I'm gonna tell you what I want to do, and sometimes that's not always what I do, but that's the goal. So the goal is this little thing to try to like not have it attached. Yeah, and there are times that I am better at it than others where I'll have it charging in another room. So when I go to bed, it's not the last thing I was looking at. When I wake up, it's not the first thing I grab. Um, or like being intentional about what the last thing I look at and what the first thing I look at are. So it's
mm,
like, okay, if you can't completely go put it away somewhere, then make it where, hey, before I go to bed, I'm listening to um I don't know, meditation, sleep cycle, sound, hertz,
mm,
specialized
mm,
something, or videos of puppies and kittens. Like you pick
mm,
whatever that is that's soothing to your spirit and that it's not the last reel from Shade Room. Like,
right.
like make it something that's going to make sense for you. In the morning, for me, I try to have it be a meditation video, something for that allows me to kind of start my day. And I even take those things that pop up as the messages from the
Mm,
universe of like, if I'm setting my intention that I want to meditate in the morning, that first meditation video that comes up is usually the
that's
one I will
good.
do because I'm like, you know what? That popped up for a reason. Let's see what that is. Or I have a song of the day. I put my playlist on, I hit shuffle 3 times. That third song, that's my music message for the day. Like what you can steal and create those moments of peace. When we say protect your peace, that's what we're saying. Protect
Mm,
how you get this information because it is
mm,
a lot and it comes at you in just this barrage from every single direction, but you can control how and when you interact with it. And I think it's very smart of you to say, I know there's a difference between just turning it all off and disconnecting and being aware of what's happening. Um, yeah, because I mean, the distractions are out there and they're intentional. It's purposeful. It's, hey, do this. Don't worry about what's happening over here. So that's when you
mm,
get really curious when the big things start
mm,
happening. Like, okay, they released these
mm,
additional, files from the Epstein files. What else is happening? What is
mm,
the stock market doing?
mm,
Let me go look at what else
mm,
is in the news. What don't you want me looking at? Why did you
mm,
put this here today?
mm,
So sometimes using that as a cue can also guide where you look. Um, and then creating that community with your friends and your loved ones and the people that are around you to talk about those things. Because much like I talk about dreams and joy and finding that, also talking about these, what are y'all doing? What are y'all seeing?
Right.
To Kim's point earlier, what is your algorithm like? Maybe I am missing something because people will tell you there are people that you used to follow that you don't
Mm-hmm.
realize they're unfollowed now. And so you may be waiting on your algorithm to feed it to you, and your algorithm may not be able to do that because these people have been disconnected from.
Yeah.
What else did they ask? How do I stay aware without burning myself out? And care without drowning. I think that's definitely the putting your oxygen mask on first and checking in with you, making sure you're good, that you're safe, because then you're in a position where you can help other people. If you're
Yeah.
so busy trying to save everybody else, that is how you burn out, because you've left nothing for you if you don't have those moments of meditation. And I'm saying it could be whatever. Candy Crush could be your meditation. But it's like whatever you pick, being very specific, being intentional, and protecting that with everything you have. So carving
Yeah.
out those moments for yourself, taking care of yourself first, and then being able to have those conversations with those around you so that your circle isn't adding to this overwhelm.
Yeah. Yeah. I echo all of that. That was good. I would also add to that, sometimes you just need to crash out.
And
Sometimes
that.
you just need to crash out. Like
And
sometimes you just need to like actually have an emotionally authentic moment to just crash out. That's where that community comes into place, right? People who also get it, where they can hold space for you to just have that crash out moment, because it is a lot that's going on right now. And to say it's a lot and the lot keeps getting bigger, it feels like there needs to be a bigger thing than it's a lot, because the lot just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger, you know? So to be able to acknowledge that and to be able to be like, this is fucking wild. Sometimes you need to do that, right? I would also say one of the things that a trauma therapist that I worked with when I was living in Mexico City and I was having a really difficult time with the bathrooms, she taught me about somatic exercises. And somatic exercises are different. Sometimes it's like stimming type behaviors, right? So it might be like slapping,
right.
or it might even be tapping, which I'm
Mhm.
not very familiar with all of them, but one that I used to love is the butterfly
Mm.
tap, and it just kind of helps
I
to
guess.
simulate both sides. There's also, yeah,
Yeah.
so it's like different places that you can tap
All the way
for different
down.
things. That also might be something that you might find helpful, even though it might feel like it doesn't do a lot, but in practice and in your mind of saying, I want to center, I want to be able to like calm myself, it does a lot. The other thing is jumping.
Mm.
So I have a jump rope, girl, somewhere around here that I ain't been able to find. But
Uh-oh.
until I find it, I've just been jumping up and down. Like I've just,
Yeah.
if I were doing jump rope, I would do 100 jumps right now. So I just literally just stand here like jump 100 times,
Yeah.
because it helps all of that energy to get out of my
Mm-hmm.
body. So doing that, or pushing a wall.
Yeah.
So if you push a wall with all of your strength and all of your might until you start shaking, you can move some of that stuck energy out of your body so that you can get out of that functional freeze
Yeah.
mode. So that's something else that you can do to help yourself. The other thing that I was going to ask to Kalonda's or add to Kalonda's point, what does peace look like for you?
Mm.
Peace looks different for everybody. So really taking some time to ask yourself what that looks like, and then making the intentional choices to create that for yourself, right? So let's say you find peace in plants, let's just say, right? And so maybe, excuse me, instead of scrolling, maybe you decide to go and spend some time talking to your plants, or watering your plants, or looking for the new leaves that are growing, or naming your plant, right? So doing things that are helping you to to calm your own nervous system, but you need to know what those things are, right? I like to blow bubbles. I'm supposed to be painting. I honestly haven't been able to. Like, my creative channels have not been very clear lately. So, but that is one of the things. Some
That's a
people
sign.
color.
Right.
Some people sing. Singing and humming is really good for activating your vagus nerve, which helps to move yourself out of that stuck position. So putting on your favorite song and literally just singing. It could be doing intuitive movement, right? So just allowing your body to move however it needs to move. Sometimes we don't realize how stiff we are and how much we need to stretch until you still yourself enough to figure that out, right? So putting those types of practices in your routines is really helpful. And then I was also going to say that staying connected to humanity is our superpower. So the other day I felt like I was feeling numb. And I said to myself, okay, I need to figure out what's going on, because being numb is that's not a feeling that I want to have. I
Right.
want to be able to feel connected. So being able to recognize when you are feeling disconnected from humanity, and then being intentional in reconnecting to humanity. That might
Right.
mean I have to go and look for some videos where they're giving out free haircuts, or rest in peace to Miss Shirley that
Miss
passed
Shirley.
away,
Yeah.
and she would feed the homeless or the unhoused populations, and was very, very loved. I've heard so
Yeah.
many people say so many amazing things about her
Wonderful things
and
about
her
her.
heart, and how she was showing up for people, right? So maybe it's that. Maybe it is doing the same. Like, maybe you have some fruit that you can go
Right.
pass out. You buy a bag of apples, and then you decide that, today I'm going to give out apples to people.
Right.
It could be something that small. And while it feels small, it's making a huge ripple effect, because it's helping you to reconnect, is also planting seeds to all the people that you have the opportunity to touch, right? So we don't want to forsake those small things that we can be doing. And I know that we talk a lot, Kalonda and I, about being outside of the country, because we have had the opportunity to do that. We understand everybody is not in position to be able to be outside the country. The question's still the same, though. So because you're there, what are you doing to make
Right.
sure that you are insulating yourself and protecting yourself, protecting your mind, protecting your spirit, having the conversations with the people that are around you?
Yeah.
Oh, we have a comment here. Yes, I went around and put a name tag on all of my plants, and it was so peaceful. And now I call them by their names when I
That's
speak to them.
beautiful. That
I love that.
is beautiful.
I
That is
love
amazing.
that.
Love it.
I love that so much, because they are living beings.
They're
Like, they
living
are
things.
living, and
Yeah.
there are copious experiments that have been done about speaking words of affirmation
Right.
over plants versus speaking words of death over plants. So
Correct.
there have been experiments about water and ice crystals forming differently
Oh, I
if
didn't know
you
that.
talked. Mm-hmm. If you
Interesting.
talk to the water, and give positive affirmations or prayers over the water, forms differently from water that you may have spoken crazy to. It's all energy.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I don't doubt it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Mm-hmm.
doubt it at all.
Yeah.
At
So
all.
find your thing, right? That's the
Yes.
thing. And don't feel like, because I'm taking a time for myself, that I am neglecting the rest of the world. Kalonda said this way, way up at the
I was
top. We are not designed to carry the burdens of the world. That is not our job. So you have a specific lane that you are supposed to operate in. Baby, lean in today. And
absolutely.
even if you don't have a big social media following, you don't have a YouTube page, you don't have a podcast, you got people, though, that are
Right.
connected to you. And
Yeah.
that one conversation with one person is making a ripple impact on the future.
Absolutely.
So please do not negate the things that seem like they are small, and it's just like, this is stupid, this is frivolous, in the face of complete anarchy. It's not. And
You
it
never
makes a
know.
difference. It makes
You
a
never know.
difference. Okay.
Exactly.
Anything else that you
Well,
want to add before we get from out of here?
No, I mean, I've thought of several things that have since left my brain, but that's how that goes. But definitely, I'd say the thing that um oftentimes you feel guiltiest about doing for yourself,
Mm,
do that more because
mm,
that's what you needed, but you've been conditioned to put yourself second or last or not
mm.
considered at all. That is the thing that is like, oh, I needed that. I enjoyed that. And like, why to question why do I feel bad about having given that to myself and give yourself more of it because that's what you need.
That's good. And drink some water.
And
Okay.
drink some water.
I'm talking to my own self when I say that because I don't be drinking water like that. Well, I be drinking water, but I don't be drinking enough. Okay. So drink some water.
Facts.
In real life, there's scientific evidence because water helps to dilute the cortisol that is
Mhm.
created from stress, right? So when we drink our water, we help to lower our cortisol levels, which helps us to bring our body back to homeostasis, which helps our brain to be able to process and move out of survival mode into the place where we are able to think and create and plan and strategize. Okay, so again,
Amen.
it might not seem like you're doing a lot.
But drinking water,
It does a lot. It does a
dance,
lot.
all of it is revolutionary. Because to Kim's point of
All of
even
it.
talking about painting, when you do have those things, then you can use that as a cue when you stop doing them of like, what's
Mm-hmm.
happening? That's pulling me
Yeah,
out of it. Why am I not able to? How can I address that's happening in my life so I can get back to those happy spots? So I can get
yeah,
back to that joy because they will tell you, yes, the world's on fire, all those things. But when you even look back at history and the timing of things, the Harlem Renaissance and all of that was happening during the Great Depression. So it's like
yeah.
being that creative, if you're like, well, I'm not a revolutionary, I'm not protesting, I'm not, those moments that you're creating and connecting, that counts. That is
Yeah,
revolution. No one is in control of that but you and the people that share it with you. So keep doing that. That work is
I love
important.
that. I love that. I love that so much. So our next episode is going to be on Sunday, February 15th, which is the day after my
I heard it was a
birthday.
real one's birthday month. Hey, hey,
So
hey.
I am doing my best to remain excited about my birthday. I'm going to be turning 45. Do you have, well, maybe I'll ask you next time. After I turn 45 and I see what that feels like, then I'm going to ask you if you have any advice for 45.
Yes,
But
indeed.
I am doing my best to be excited about my birthday and do some intentional things that are going to bring me joy and peace and, think about like a birthday dinner or something
Yes.
that I want to have. So I'm excited about that. I do want to give you all an invitation to the Healing Circle if you are a Black woman. The Healing Circle is taking place on February 14th at 10:30 a.m. Eastern, and you can register for that at tinyurl.com/Black Women Healing Circle. But it's a space where we reconnect back to our breath. We do a yoga flow, and then we also have discussion. This month, we're going to be talking about self-love. So we'll be talking about some of these routines and practices that we have and where we like fall into the trap of not loving self, right? Because we have to unlearn. I got to give to everybody else when I haven't even put my own oxygen mask on. So that is what we'll be talking about for the February Healing Circle. I would love for you all to join me there. So if you're able, please again go register tinyurl.com/Black Women Healing Circle. And then we'll be back on February 15th to talk about whatever we're going to be talking about then, because no telling what's going to happen in 2 weeks, but
Ciao.
also we might not even be running headlines because sometimes you just have to be like in this container. We're going to talk
Right.
about joy. So
There
we'll
it is.
see what that looks like and sounds like. If you have not done so already, please like the video. Please like the video. Please also share the video with someone so that the algorithm is able to to honor the stream. Also, as soon as we end, if you can go back into the comments, so those of y'all who are here hanging out with us, as soon as we pause this in a few minutes, go back into the comments and at least leave us some honey pots. You may have other things that you want to say. We talked about a gamut of things here, so you can also say that, but at least leave us some honey pots so that, again, the algorithm can push the video forward, okay? Tell the people where they can find you, ma'am.
You can find me on Instagram at Kawana Bear, KAWANABEAR. You can find my business, Visionary Executive Network, on Instagram at Visionary E Network. And you can find me on my website at visionaryenetwork.com. If you are an entrepreneur, if you are even an executive assistant looking for work, you can reach out to me for opportunities there, just trying to make these systems less stressful and where you can find the joy in it and not feel so alone in that process. And at the house and on Cash App.
Anywhere else that you want to say?
I think that's it.
Okay. And so you all can find me at KimberlandJackson.com. If you are curious about Discover Your Destiny, you can go to DYD25.com. If you are wanting to get involved in the internship program, please go to tinyurl.com/foundher, HER, future. Okay. And yeah, we will catch y'all next time. We'll see y'all out here in these digital streets and such and so. We appreciate y'all for hanging out. Okay. We love you. We'll see you later. Bye.